Hello and welcome to a big race. It's the season finale of Retro Cup in Live for Speed, round 7 at the custom Westhill de la Sarthe circuit, live on Sim Broadcasts. I'm Peter Butcher and I'm joined in the commentary box once again by our crack team of Retro Cup commentators. It's Rob Mathershaw, Kieran Redman and Adam Sears. First of all, Rob, how's it going?
Not bad, thank you very much. Looking forward to a wonderful race tonight.
Going to be fun. Kieran, how are you?
Hi guys, very excited. One more to go. Let's do this thing.
And Adam Sears.
Good evening, absolutely buzzing for it.
Oh, it's going to be amazing. Let's get straight into it, shall we? And see what is coming up. Of course, this has been a 7-round championship in Live for Speed. We've been at lots of custom layouts as well as some regular ones. But tonight we're at a longer version of the Westhill circuit, which has got some expanded track areas which make use of the out-of-bounds areas of the Westhill open config circuit here. And it's going to be a bumper one tonight. We're going to have 2 hours of racing with an exciting addition tonight, of course. 2 exciting additions, in fact. But yeah, it's going to be a 2-hour race with that Le Mans style start that we've grown to love, and driver changes, of course, allowed in a longer event like this. Yeah, let's take a look at what is going to be slightly new for tonight's edition before we head over to the main category of cars. Tonight we see the new Group 4 category, which has been brought in just for tonight. Quite a lot of drivers have chosen to use it, including Gabba, who has elected to use this car. It's the BVR N1 Pro car by Tutu the Dog with a 3.5 litre inline-6 rear-wheel drive configuration weighing just over a tonne with half a tonne of brake horsepower. This thing looks like a beast, Kieran.
It really does. It's going to present a lovely new challenge for all of our drivers and presents an opportunity to pick up some silverware at the end of the season. Of course, a one race championship here. Let's see who masters this car and takes it the win all the way.
Indeed. Well, we're going to see this in action in just a moment's time. But before we see it, let's have a look at the rest of the cars with the class presentation by Lorenzo.
Introducing the road class. Porsche Camera and Piran Firefly 200. These 2 cars are evenly matched and will bring some of the most spectacular action in the Retro Cup. These 2 cars have very different strength. For example, the Porsche is much faster in the straights, while the Piran Firefly is a lightweight car capable of going full attack in the corners and make for a great spectacle. Introducing the Group 5. These GT cars are absolute beasts, capable of reaching speeds up to 300 kph. The Fendt Mustang Pro and the Porsche will bring the heat on the Retro Cup calendar. These cars have different strengths. For example, the Porsche is an absolute monster on the straights, while the Mustang Pro is a much more balanced car. These 2 cars are evenly matched and will bring the heat on the Retro Cup. Introducing the Prototype 2. Based on the mid-70s sport prototypes, the Wessex R74 is a fan favorite of the Retro Cup. Introduced in the Season 1 of the Sears, this car is fast and very well balanced, and can even challenge the top class in some of the twister tracks. You have to expect close battle and wheel-to-wheel action in all the rounds of the series. Welcome to the Prototype 1. This is the top class, the fastest cars of the Retro Cup. McElroy and Ferenzi. 2 extremely fast and dangerous prototypes, capable of reaching speeds up to 350 km per hour. You'll have to show respect to these cars, or you could find yourself flying around the racetrack. The McElroy is the most powerful car in the series, but the Ferenzi have better drivability. These cars will bring the drivers to their absolute limit and will bring some of the most spectacular action you'll ever see on Live for Speed. Are you ready for the challenge, Retro drivers?
That was the class presentation by Lorenzo, and yes, on your screen again is of course the added Group 4 category car that we'll see tonight. There's quite a few drivers already using this, so it'll be exciting to obviously see what people make of it around the Westhill de la Sarthe circuit. And yeah, just to guide us around the track, we have Lorenzo again, who is going to show us an onboard lap.
Hello everyone, and jump on board with me in Westhill de la Sarthe, last round of the season in this spectacular BVR N1 Pro car, the new Group 4 car. Here we go, in the first braking zone. It's a big braking zone into a very open hairpin, multiple lines here possible, and good spot for overtaking. As we go on the exit, a very short straight here into the roads of Westhill. Here we go, big braking zone into the bridge section, left-hander corner 90 degrees. Go into another short straight section before another big braking zone, another left-hander corner 90 degrees. We jump on the curb as we go for a perfect exit into this long, curvy, straight section. You'll remember for sure this section from the round 1 of the season. I had a huge incident with the road car, for sure you'll remember well. As we prepare for another big braking zone, right-hander jumping on the curb hard into the Mobile 1 bridge. As we enter the spectacular, super fast section, reminiscent of the Anadir Strait of Le Mans section, 20-30 seconds of full gas here, going uphill across the villages of Westhill. This is a spectacular new section for Leap for Speed. As we approach a little jump here, even with the Group 4 car, as we prepare for a huge braking zone, downhill. This is super tricky into a very fast chicane. We jump on the curb to get the perfect exit here. That's a fast combination of corners, another right-hander into another big downhill. The car gets light here as we jump downhill into a very fast left-hander corner. As we approach the downhill full throttle section, here is the fastest corner of the track. Very dangerous place here, especially in traffic, as we prepare for another huge braking zone here into a tight chicane, most technical section of the track. Here we go. We have to be very precise here and carry out the speed as much as possible as we prepare for another technical section, another big braking zone, left and a super tight right-hander into the bridge that leads to another iconic new section in Leap for Speed, uphill, flat out, as we brake around the 75-meter mark into a pretty open right-hander corner. We jump on the curb to get the maximum speed out of the corner as we go uphill again between the guardrails. You rarely see these sections here on Leap for Speed. This is a very exciting track as we zoom past another village of Westhill, flat out again, another big straight section. As we prepare for another huge braking zone, braking at the 100 meters mark here, jumping on the curb again and flirting with the walls in the exit. We enter the old village section, the old village of Westhill, as we head for another fast right flick over the curb again and flat out again into another downhill section. This track is uphill, downhill, bumps everywhere. This is the ultimate Leap for Speed challenge as we go to the most tricky section of the track, super bumpy here. We try to avoid the tires, the walls in the tunnels. Here we go for another fast left-hander. Hold your breath stuff. Absolute zero room for mistakes here as we prepare for the final braking zone of the track. It's the last good overtaking spot of the track here as we go flat out again, full speed again into the main straight of Westhill de la Sarthe. This track is going to split the men from the boys and will bring the best and the worst out of the Leap for Speed drivers. Around 2 hours of competition. Back to you in the commentary booth.
Another absolutely superb track presentation by Lorenzo. He's knocked it out of the park this season with the extra stuff that he has given us in the build-up to races, which just make it extra immersive. Let's take a look then, shall we, at the championship standings as they currently sit. In the Prototype 1 class, we've got Thamuli on the pole, and I'm going to introduce our commentators now who are going to talk us through it. Kieran.
Yeah, starting with Prototype 1, it is Thamuli, who has been imperious throughout the championship. He is our champion. Nothing to worry him this evening. He will be champion whatever happens. This is about bragging rights for the remainder. Second place man Roni will be starting from the pit lane thanks to incidents in the previous round. So watch out for some very fast drivers coming through to challenge Thamuli at the top.
Absolutely, that is wrapped up for Thamuli. Let's take a look at the P2 championship.
Yeah, with the P2 Championship as well, similar story to Prototype 1. Maserati has been leading from the front and untouchable, and he has had a very big challenge from behind from the likes of Lorenzo, Redman, Simox, and the occasional Gabba appearance here. Again, this championship is wrapped up. It's all about bragging rights. Let's see if the series organizer, Lorenzo, can finally knock Maserati off his perch.
Indeed, lots of stories up and down the grid, especially in Group 5.
Indeed, Pete. Group 5 has been one of the most contested championships all seasons, and it's been all about three men, Gabba, Highwatt and Cried. However, it is a two-man dance this evening between Highwatt and Cried, and with double points on offer, there is nothing to pick between them. Expect this one to go down to the last lap, last corner of Retro Cup.
Yeah, just one class to go then. It's our favourite. Well, it has been our favourite throughout the whole of the championship, but let's see what they give us tonight.
I will admit full bias here, Pete. I love the road class, have done from start to finish. It's given us the best racing all season. 7 mathematical contenders, numbers 1 to 7 there. Trespasser through to Magic can win this championship. However, I would say it's all about the top 3, Stiefler, Martin and Trespasser. Mr. Martin has been the definition of consistency, whereas Trespasser and Stiefler have given us amazing racing to contend with. It will be one of the 3. Let's see who comes out on top in the hotly contested road class.
Thank you, Kieran. Well, let's take a look at the qualifying results, because it wouldn't be Retro Cup without some Retro Cup drivers. And yeah, tonight, Thamuli, off the back of his Prototype 1 win, sticks it on overall pole with Roni there in P2. And yeah, you'll notice on our graphics that we've got some interesting white names being shown on the class graphic there. It's the BVNP. That is your Group 4 category. And you'll see again that it is an absolutely bumper grid tonight, with the 37 drivers setting times in qualifying. Here are your Prototype 1 category cars tonight. 4 of them, Thamuli, Roni, Mies and Unite. Over in the P2 category, 9 cars led by Dennis Lind. He's here for some Prototype 2 action with Simox, Cooper, Mouseman, Lorenzo, Rayman, Camaro, Lallaroo and Maserati, your 9 starters in the P2 category. Then we've got the Group 5 category with 3 drivers, Cried, Highwatt and Bobby 6 Killer. Next on our screen, we will have the Group 4 category, which is Gabba, Omar, L Racing, RD2, BWG. Then we've got Desnash, Clennon, Nozzle, Ruby, Conflict, Diaz and Dia. Now, we don't have a breakdown fully of the road class categories, so we'll need to pick them out of this graphic, but we can do that just very shortly. I think it's Sufor. Yeah, Sufor has the overall pole in the road class category. Kieran, done a good job there.
He's done a really good job. He's done everything he can to give himself the best shot here at taking points away from our main protagonists and contenders. But look for Trespasser P2 in the class. He is leading the championship and has everything to fight for.
Yeah, 20 seconds to go until the start of our race then, where I will throw the microphone over to our commentary team. And yeah, it's going to be a good one. We've got 2 hours of racing coming up in the Westhill de la Sarthe, which is going to be absolutely smashing. This is a tricky track for the cars to navigate, and with the pace difference across the different classes, it's going to be super difficult. But anyway, just as we get ready to go, I will introduce Rob Mathershaw, who's going to take us away for the grid.
Thank you very much, Pete, for the final time of 2025. We've got the Retro Cup, Westhill to the start, 2 hours. It's going to be keeping us on the toes as much as all the drivers. I'm really looking forward to this one. Hopefully, we're going to see Thamuli on the pole position like we've seen so many times, a 5-second gap between him and Roni. It's anybody's guess. We've got the best drivers in the world, real and virtual, on the grid. And Sears, what do you reckon? Who's your best bet for today's race?
Well, we've seen Prototype 2 and Prototype 1 similar pace occasionally, and the grid is split. Dennis Lynn there in second. I think over the course of the race, it will go through.
Absolutely. So here we go. We are lined up for the Le Mans style start for the final time in this season's Retro Cup. Thamuli with a bit of a slide, but he seems to get away. I think it is Dennis Lind that has taken the overall lead of the race in his P2, with Mies in 3rd place, while Simox, and they all come round the very tight turn 1, and it looks like Lind has got through with Thamuli in 2nd and Mies in 3rd. It looks like a relatively clean start for such a congested grid. 37 cars we've got today, but they all seem to have got through quite nicely. It's Lind ahead of Thamuli and Mies.
Yeah, fingers crossed we keep it clean through the first lap. They're all being very, very well behaved here as they head down into the tight and twisty section here. Themuli is looking to challenge real-world driver Dennis Lind there, sweeping around the outside, and a commanding move from Themuli, who got it all wrong at the start but has now taken the lead. But look for Dennis to respond here in the tight and twisty section. The LMP 1 and 2 class are very closely matched in the corners. It's just on the straight that the Themuli will have the advantage in the Firenze.
Absolutely. Themuli with the power advantage, absolutely breezing past Dennis Lind. Mies in third place. You'd expect the Firenze to have a similar differential in pace, and indeed he is going to come all the way past with Dennis Lind over the little jump there. But a really strong start for Dennis Lind, with Seamox second in the class. Looking further back, Gabba looks like he has maintained his position at the head of the new Group 4 category, having their single race in the championship this year, while Cried and Highwatt inseparable as ever in the lead of Group 5. And as you can see, Dennis Lind with a great move there. Nice and opportunist, getting back past Mies in the corners. Brilliant stuff so far from Dennis Lind.
Yeah, Mies was very worried pre-race about his pace at the start in the first few corners. That didn't seem to materialise. He seemed pretty on pace, did really well. Got back ahead of Dennis Lind on the straight, and yeah, I think that'll be a battle over the course of the race, I think.
Absolutely. We see our race leader Themuli coming through one of the most tight and twisty sections on the circuit there. Really, really congested. We expect to see some action there, especially as people start to lap each other on this layout. About a 3.5 minute lap for some of our slower cars. And we're hearing that there's been someone in the wall there for RD2 in Group 4, but already action aplenty. Seamox in the background there, P2. Lorenzo all the way up to P3 as well. One of the talking points in Prototype 2 will be Maserati starting from the back of his category. So it'll be interesting to see the pace that he can make up as we see
on the time
Seamox and Unite changing position in the classes with Gabba. There it is, that BMW M1 Pro car looking resplendent. P9 overall. He's about to get mugged by some of our P2 category. But yeah, really good start for Gabba, looking for a win in yet another class this season, as we are nearly 3 wide. In fact, we are 3 wide, a bit of contact. Gabba there, luckily getting away with it. I think that might have been Cooper or Mouseman. But yeah, Gabba lucky a little bit there not to take any damage or be wiped out. But yeah, really fast, frenetic start for those guys.
I absolutely love the silhouette of this BMW Pro car. It's brilliant, and it's going to present a new challenge for our drivers. As there we have a little drama in front of there. Whoa! Big stuff there. Mouseman managing to keep himself out of the drama there, carrying on as you like. But there, that was a real heart-in-mouth moment for Mouseman. I believe that will be Camaro that went spinning ahead of him. A real shame for him. I hope he's not received too much damage there as he exited stage left from our cameras there.
Huge bravery from Mouseman not to back off. He just gave a little lift and then just carried on pushing straight through.
Very heads-up driving from Mouseman. As you see, he takes 4th in the Prototype 2 category. And as you guys say, it was getting into that tight, twisty section on the power out. Loses it after going onto the right-hand side, onto the grass, just before the underpass. It was an unlucky incident, but really well avoided by our Prototype 2 drivers there.
Yeah, it was great stuff. This track presents real challenges from start to finish. 9.7 kilometers, 6 miles, 22 total turns, with action points at turns 1, 7 and 8, 12 to 15 and 17 as well, with 2 huge straights on there as well. And I'm hearing in my ear that Roni has huge damage. Remember, he started from the pit lane thanks to some infractions at the previous round. You can see the front right wheel is embedded inside the car, and he is heading into the pits now. I think that is the right call. Luckily, it's happened early enough in the race and at a point on the lap where he's not going to lose too much time in terms of damage, but that is not the start that Roni needs when he is trying to fight for honours in the Prototype 1 category.
Especially when you look at the quality of the start that Mies has had. A nice, comfortable 3rd place with Unite just behind. As you say, that's a big moment for 2nd place in our championship for Prototype 1. Looking at Themuli now, he is 6.5 seconds to the good already, obviously with Dennis Lind in the Prototype 2 car. RD2 looks like he's going to be making a pass in the Group 4 category, new to us this weekend or today. And RD2 indeed deep in the slipstream, side by side as they head over the little bump in the road, and it looks like he's going to get the move done just before they get towards the deep braking zone. He has got past back though, as they go into what I believe is 7, 8, and 9. Is that? I think so. No, maybe not. It's 12 to 15. As you mentioned, Kieran, one of our key overtaking zones during the race. And it's interesting to see the attitude of these Group 4 cars, these BMWs, as they're going through the corners, heading over the jump, just a little bump over the road. They look like they've got a lot of grip, but a lot of power to go along with it. They look like an absolute dream to drive, as both Peter and RD2 are catching Clenand, making it a three-way battle for 4th position in Group 4.
I am loving watching both Peter and RD2 test the integrity of that rear bumper of that BMW M car. They have been pushing each other all the way around this lap as they continue to swap positions. It's not good for an endurance-style 2-hour race, but it's fantastic for what we're watching. I'm loving this. Let's bring on another 2 hours, and we have a tyre bundle go flying overhead. It's a lovely header there from the BMW to get it off the track.
Back behind the wall as well.
Oh, brilliant stuff. We love it. A bottom right-hand corner. Lovely stuff. And it's up the inside. A huge lunge there. And blew the block pass on the exit there. Nothing doing. I believe that is RD2 just behind Peter now as these two head onto the start-finish straight. He will no doubt be in the draft, getting that overspeed. Watch for an overlap into the heavy braking zone right at the end of this turn.
So heading now down towards turn number 17. RD2 looks like he's got a slight advantage. He's going to pull out here. And the dark green car squirreling on the brakes with a little bit of damage to the driver's left, but gets it stopped, gets it blocked, and will run the other car out towards the rear, out towards the wall. And it looks like that is job done. The number 77 BMW is nicely through.
That was one heck of a chop across there. And we've got Mad Jester in the draft as well in our road class category. He is one of our title protagonists. He's our leader at the moment as well. Leads with 109 points to Martin's 85. We go on board now with RD2, who is looking to get any advantage that he can on the car ahead. That's Peter up ahead there with the blue and white car. We're looking on board now with RD2. That car's squirrely and fighting away with it. Obviously no power steering here, no traction control. It's all technique here. You need big shoulders, big arms to hang on to these things. It will be a challenge and a fight for the next 2 hours for these drivers. But let's see who can master this car and take home the win in this new exciting Group 4 category.
As you say, big shoulders, big arms, not to mention the big dangly things between their legs. Absolutely brilliant stuff from these guys already. We've got Highwatt on screen here, 2nd place in Group 5, behind Cried by about 5 seconds. Of course, this is one of our key championship battles, with Cried leading Highwatt by only the 2 points. Essentially, first man across the line is the champion. Mouseman's going to get across Highwatt there in the prototype 2, but it's another car on the road between Cried and Highwatt. At the moment, it is advantage Cried.
And we've also got Cooper catching up to Cried as well, of course, in the prototype 2 versus the Group 5 for Cried. But Cried, battling for the championship, he's going to need to make sure he doesn't have any kind of contact with Cooper. Just let him go. Don't fight it. Don't get involved in contact.
Yeah, you make a very good point there. It's all about consistency, especially with that extra half an hour on the clock for these drivers to withstand today. It might not seem like a lot when you put it like that, but it's an extra bit of attrition. It's an extra bit of concentration that's required. We've got Sufor on board on our screens right now. It's amazing that 10 minutes into a race, and this is the first time we are highlighting one of the classes that provides us with the most action regularly. We've got Trespasser just ahead. I feel like we've said that before between Sufor and Trespasser, and it looks like we're set to have yet another battle between these two.
Sufor was pole, wasn't he? Which means Trespasser's got through somewhere.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, you're totally right. And I think Trespasser looking pretty happy at the moment, but it remains to be seen as we go along. Obviously, a longer race, and with that comes a lot more intrigue in relation to fuel and tyre strategies. We've seen some things be a little bit marginal in the hour-and-a-half races, so adding that extra half an hour, as I mentioned, will be a complete game changer. We've got Donald looking good here as well.
Prototype 1, Prototype 2 and Group 5, they all pit during an hour-and-a-half race, so we'll be expecting at least 1, but potentially 2 in this race. At the road class usually can make it to the end, but like you say, in the last race, it was a bit touch and go whether they'd make it, so I think we can probably expect a pit stop this race.
Absolutely. It'll be intriguing to see what we can get there. We're 10 minutes in, so I would assume that we're going to wait at least another 3/4 of an hour before we start seeing much in the way of pit stop action on strategy, at least. But on the screen at the moment, RD2 once again getting the lead, or getting ahead of Peter, one of the best battles on track at the moment, but it remains to be seen how long that's going to be for. We've got Peter File deep in the slipstream there, as we see Unite on the screen. He's third in his category, fourth overall, but already 25 seconds behind Themuli. And bearing in mind the pace that we've seen from Unite in this Prototype 1 when he has been in it, I think that for me is a little bit of a surprise, gents.
It really is. I think Themuli is doing really, really well there. 16 seconds is his advantage over Dennis Lind, who is in the slower LMP2 car, who's doing a fantastic job of holding off Mies and Unite in much faster machinery, particularly on this track here as well. But right now on our screens, if I can divert your attention, we've got Mad Jester looking up left and right up of there. I'm just trying to get the name of the driver there as well. Up Newhouse there, up the inside of Newhouse. Great stuff by Mad Jester. Gets it stopped for the chicane, cuts across the nose, but Newhouse looking for the counter attack there in the Porsche up the right hand side. We've got Donald ahead looking to maybe interject himself into this battle. He'll be thinking, keep it there, boys. I don't want anything to do with this. All three of them under brakes into this tight, twisty chicane there. And there's a little bit of a sideways moment there for Mad Jester, but he hangs onto it. Just clipping the apex. We've got Magic going up the curb there right at the end, running a little bit wide. But it's as you like. Great move from Mad Jester as he overtakes Newhouse and carries on to try and get his hands on Donald.
Well, if we cast some memories back, I think Donald won the first race, didn't he, in that road class, which would show he's got some pace there, so it's not going to be easy.
Certainly not. Donald is a great driver in the road class category, a former champion of this series, if I remember correctly as well. Might be testing my memory there, but again, Donald, really good driver. He's had a few poor results as well in the season, not been the campaign that he would like, although he is still a contender, our fourth place man with 68 points. He's a long shot, but it's a shot he can take.
Absolutely. We're just seeing Twin Cam going through on the screen there past one of our best Group 4 battles of RD2 and Peterfile. It looks like perhaps Twin Cam has had a bit of an issue that meant he dropped back, but makes it back up into the top 20. Meanwhile, Gabor and Gabor on the screen here, that Group 4 looking absolutely exquisite in the hands of the Maestro, who has managed to drive so many cars so well. We've got Unite making a move on Mies for third overall and second in the class. They're side by side at the moment. It's going to be Unite with the inside line as traffic will play a part here. One of the road cars, number 89 in the Porsche, will move out the way nicely. Good driving from Hermani, real heads up stuff, but it does cost cost Mies, and Unite gets ahead to take third place, second in the category, 26 seconds off the lead. Now, will this give Unite an opportunity to get his head down and find some time?
Well, let's remember that Unite was a class winner with a shock win at the last round here as well, so he's riding a real wave of momentum. Our local wild man in the Prototype 1 category as well. Very much a win it or bin it mentality for Unite, but when he's on form, he is untouchable as he aims to try and track down Dennis Lind, who again is leading by 9 seconds in the slower LMP2 car. You can see why he's a real world GT3 driver, and a very good one at that, as he dives into La Source-esque turn 1, and he continues the run onto his next lap here. And I'm hearing in my ear, we've got RD2 looking to make a move here. Clement ran wide and the move is done. RD2 has disposed of Peter and he's now disposed of Clement as well. And he continues his run in the Group 4 category. Remember, this is a long lap, 9.7 kilometers, so traffic will play a factor in here. Luckily, everyone's keeping it thin right now, but Clement is sat in the draft looking for the counter attack here. Maybe not the place you want to be leading here, but Clement now pulls out to the right, gets the overlap through the left-hand kink as they head into the heavy braking zone. They are side by side here. Who dares brake first? They're both under the brakes now. Clement goes in a bit deeper and he runs into the corner heavy and he hits the apex beautifully, gets it all slightly crossed up, but the move is made. But that's not over yet. The overlap on the right-hand corner and nothing is doing there. They continue as a pair. Fantastic stuff.
Amazing driving from both there. Clennon getting the advantage back after it looked like RD2 was destined to take 19th place and indeed 4th in the class. I think that was a little bit of a wide moment there from Clennon, and RD2 is through as they go under the underpass, and a really good opportunist move from RD2 there, just about getting over it, and then a really big slide from Peter behind as well. So action aplenty, but RD2 up to 4th place. The next car up the road's 20 seconds ahead. Mies with a little bit of an excursion, the right-hand side of his car looking a bit deranged on the front end, unfortunately, but it doesn't look like, hopefully, it's cost him all that much time. But yeah, certainly another little bit of a difficult moment for Mies at this phase of the race as they've now started lapping those road cars.
Yeah, just to note on that last race, I think Unite did win on the road, but after the lap countback, Gabor won, then it was Thimuli, and then Unite in third.
Okay, yeah, that's an interesting one. Of course, with the drama of the previous round, with some disconnects and some issues for drivers, we did have that change in the final standings as a result of laps being awarded back again. So, very good point there, Sears. We can call what we see on the track, and then we'll have it discussed with Lorenzo afterwards. But we see Dennis Lind on the screen, very comfortable at the moment, 21 seconds. In fact, no, 27 seconds to the good over Simox, and we're hearing that Cooper is catching Simox as well. So second and third in Prototype 2 look like they are about to commence a battle. And if they do that, you can see just behind the green, white and red car of Lorenzo stalking away, hoping to get into the top three. And even then, Mouseman not that far behind. Got Cooper now pulling out onto the right-hand side past the black Rothmans liveried car of Simox. Cooper's going to be ahead by the time they get to the next right-hander for the braking zone, and it's a bit of a slide, but Cooper looks like he's just about going to get it stopped, and I think he has. Yes, he has, and he's just managed to get past the road class car there, but they are two abreast. We've got Donald and Mad Jester just getting through on Donald. We've got class action aplenty, both of them just making it through nicely there. Really good work from Mad Jester to lead the gap as well. And we've just seen that's Lorenzo. I think Lorenzo has just speared into the wall on the right-hand side. It'd be very nice to be seeing whether there's any damage. But it might have been a little bit of lag. Sorry about that. But yeah, wow, a bit of a worrying moment. At least watching the screen there. Lorenzo, though, unscathed and still there to fight. Another day, P4 in the class, P7 overall, hoping to get towards Cooper and Simox.
Breathe a sigh of relief, everyone. I think I just got flashbacks to round one where Lorenzo went airborne, if you can recall that.
Also at Westhill.
Yeah, also at Westhill. He's not got the best track record here this year, but thankfully it was just a momentary piece of lag. He is on the go and still running P4 overall. I'm waiting to capitalise on this battle between Cooper and Simox. We ride on board now with Cried. He is the leader of the Group 5 category and the leader of the points of the Group 5 category as well. With the three runners, it is whoever wins out of Cried and Highwatt this evening. The first place man will win the championship. Highwatt has 12 seconds, I believe, off the pace, has a bit of a gap to make up there, but Cried, in a brilliant livery that we highlighted last round as well, is continuing to push on and manage this race from the front, and he's looking good for the championship.
I think that Steve Martin who just gone past well with a weird livery that isn't white is very odd, but there he is.
Steve Martin, of course, discovering the fill function on the painting programs. It's a good-looking car, to be fair. I like that livery, nice and classic-looking with the Gene sponsorship on the rear end. I think actually that's one of my early contenders. I like that one a lot for livery of the day.
It's a very, very nice one. Steve Martin has been one of our main protagonists in the road class category. The picture of consistency. He has never been the winner, but he's always been a consistent point scorer. A huge airtime moment there for Lorenzo. That's plus 50 points in the bag for him there. Suspension will not be liking him for that, but it looked spectacular. Meanwhile, we take a look at our class leader, Thimuli, and in the bottom right of your screen, you can see on-board pictures from the cockpit of the legend himself. Thimuli has been the man to beat. And while we have seen a few chinks in the armor and some very bizarre moments happen to Thimuli in this championship, when he has been on form, he has been untouchable. It's great stuff to see. Really, really nice work from Thimuli as he continues to lead over Dennis Lind by 28.7 seconds. We're not even 20 minutes into this, and Thimuli is running away with it.
Absolutely.
I'd like to know, sorry, Rob, this Prototype 2 car is one of the rare ones that it is a single make class. I'll let you take this one, guys.
Absolutely. We've got Newhouse making his way down the inside of Donald there, one of our new entries in the Porsche. Donald's not going to give this one up easily, though, as they head down the road section towards the next hard braking zone. It's a right-hander for Donald, but he's tucked in behind as they go through the chicane. I believe that's 7, 8, and now it's going to be followed by 9. As I suppose that's how numbers work. But Newhouse with a good margin, actually. Looks like he's managed to take a bit of a lead over Donald there. Newhouse, of course, for all of you old Formula 1 game aficionados, related, I'm sure, to the 1997 Formula 1 world champion John Newhouse. Looking like he's doing a great job with Donald as we have one of the McLarens coming through in the Prototype 2 class.
Rob, that is an archive one, that is brilliant.
Well, do a bit of fan service, haven't we? It's the final round of the season. And we're hearing that Simox has gone a little bit wide and Cooper is through. And as you can see that on the screen, Cooper taking 5th overall, 2nd in the category for Prototype 2. Cooper now will be ready to be seen. Can he remain ahead of Simox, or is that battle going to continue to rage as it has done for about the last 20 minutes? Lorenzo still, of course, there, ready to stalk, ready to pounce should the two of these hit trouble together.
We've got a couple of contenders that have joined this championship and looking to upset the established order. Dennis, of course, is one of them, but so is Cooper as well. Obviously, we had a lot of discussion around Dennis being there. And right as I said that, Cooper spun. He spun.
Wow.
And he's kept it pointing in the right direction, though. It's not as bad as it looks. 1 place lost, and Lorenzo is right on his tail. That could have been far, far worse. Amazing stuff there. Great save from Cooper. Of course, it was the mistake in the braking zone. Just looked to lose the rear and step out and overcorrected. But again, amazingly found himself pointing in the direction of the corner, so not too much time lost. Breathe, gentlemen.
And that is the first of the inevitable commentators' curses that will be coming all evening.
Let the record show that it was Kieran first at 31 minutes past the hour.
A rare Kieran one.
And we've got Omar here spinning as well in the that's quite a big spin in the yellow Deutsche Post inspired livery of the BMW.
This is my favourite livery of the race so far.
It's a good looking livery. We got a good 360-degree view of it, unfortunately, there. Omar recovering nicely, though, and it looks like he has got twin cam ahead of him, behind him still just. So it looks like he's probably lost around 10 seconds. And twin cam getting it all locked up, and Roney well behind there with a did very well to avoid it, laying a big fat pair of 11s to get past as well. Really good stuff to avoid that from Roney, and he is going to blast past to take 16th position away from Omar. 4th, of course, in Prototype 1, but he's still got a little way to go. Although, actually, I think that means that he's well over the halfway mark, overtaking the field in his first challenge. And we've got Roney now coming through. We're going to see some Air Roney, I think, soon. It's one of our favourite features of the Retro Cup. Roney trying to get some points, but we'll...
you guys missed the race where we had the big Air. The big Air at Fern Bay, but yeah, I think we'll see a good instance this time.
Absolutely. Would you like to be air traffic control for this one, Sears?
No, I'll let Kieran do it.
Oh, I like it.
Well, we do enjoy Air Roney here. It's proper dinosaur air vibes, pterodactyl-esque. It's going to grow wings and scream as he goes past Magic there, overtaking our road class runner. Here it is, ladies and gentlemen. Hold your breath. Let's see some big air time. Let's see how many meters he can get on the board, on the ski slope. Comes up and over the car, already bouncing and rising, but that is not the moment we're looking for. It's coming up right about now. Take a breath, hold a moment. There it is.
Wait.
Full 4 wheels off the ground, big lift. Wheelie bars need to be applied to the back of Roney's car. Low downforce setup on that. It looks spectacular as he continues his march up the order. I think that was a moment there for Newhouse. We've just caught off to the left-hand side. Donald has overtaken him as well. Newhouse there has been caught with a moment. Donald laying a big pair of 11s there, fully crossed up and sideways, well held from the road class man with a great livery as well with the Gum Garage livery. But Newhouse is stalking him in the bright red Porsche 911, and I'm hearing in my ear that Simox has been That's huge. Lorenzo has gone under, and up goes Simox. Air traffic control talking about takeoff for Roney. That was takeoff for Simox there. Wow, and he's upside down.
We saw that earlier in the season,
gutting.
But we haven't seen it for a long time. Some of these cars have got very low noses and they will scoop people up. We've seen it previously with, I think, Group 5 on road class. I think Prototype 2s as well, and this time it's been Prototype 2 on Prototype 2.
Yeah, that Mustang in particular in the Group 5 category certainly has a propensity to pick cars up from in front of it, as we've got 25th place there, Disnash, with a deranged front end in his BMW M1, another good-looking car for this round, but looks like he's been in the wars. Just something to note there, gentlemen. I just saw Dennis Lind going past second overall, 40 seconds off the leader, looking great. That front end doesn't look quite as pristine as it did at the start. I don't know whether there's been a little bit of contact on the left.
The last-minute lunges probably don't help that.
Well, he's a man who's very experienced in going through traffic at full pelt, and you can see the pure evidence of that there. Absolutely brilliant as he jumps like that over that little hump. And we're hearing that Gabba has crashed as well. And there we go, he's on the left-hand side, looking a little bit deranged there. He's got Roney behind, so he looks like he's going to drop down to 14th place, probably losing about 10 seconds.
That is not something you see every day, is it? Gabba having a crash.
No, there you go. Just giving it a little bit of a wobble, making sure the suspension's pointing where it should be, and see whether he's got any damage that he's going to feel the need to repair. Roney going through, weaving to his right to get past the road car, and then we see Roney going past Gabba pitting there as well, and we're hearing that there was a bit of an issue. I think it was Seabox as well, but Gabba in the pits having to repair that damage. As you said, Sears, an uncharacteristic error from our Maestro.
Well, I'll jump back in again. What I was trying to say earlier is that the Prototype 2 was for the regular season, has been our only class with a single manufacturer. We've now got this Group 4 car with the single manufacturer BMW M1. But yeah, so you've got Prototype 1, you've got Ferrari and McLaren. Group 5, you've got Mustang and Porsche. The Porsche, not very highly subscribed this season. You don't see it very often in that Group 5 class. And then obviously road class, you've got the Piran and the Porsche, which have been pretty evenly mixed, I think.
Yeah, there seems to have always been a bit of a split. It started off with domination in the road class with the Porsche, and then it sort of switched to the Firefly as we ride on board with Twin Cam, who I believe has had a spin off camera. Luckily, I don't think there's any damage to that vehicle as well. Just to let you know, we were just talking, obviously, Dennis Lind, our superstar driver for this weekend. He has lost a huge chunk of time, so he's clearly had quite a big moment, not just in terms of the damage, but in terms of his margin over third place Unite. It has come down by a considerable margin. Although, as I say that, I was just going to say Unite has entered the pits, clearly repairing a little bit of cosmetic damage. We'll get in our ears whether it is going to be tyres and fuel as well, and what strategy he's running as well, clearly offsetting himself from the likes of Thamuli and Mies. But the advantage that Dennis lost in that moment, he has clearly going to lose and gain all that back now on third place Unite.
Well, I think that indicates probably a two-stop for him. I doubt you can do an hour and a half in that Prototype 1 around here without having to stop again. So I think that pretty much solidifies him on a two-stop.
Absolutely. I'm seeing Thamuli now coming past some of the road class cars. In fact, it's the leading cars, or certainly the top of the road class category, Trespasser and Sufor. And he just about manages to get through nicely there. And then we've got, of course, Omar's ahead as well. We're hearing that Unite was damage and tyres for the Prototype 1. I don't think he's necessarily lost all that. No, he must have lost a bit more than that. I'm just looking at the wrong bit of the timing screen. Thamuli goes past Omar. Just going to finish the story with Group 4 after seeing that error for Gabba. We've now got L Racing in the lead, 14th overall, just about 15 seconds ahead of Omar. And of course, one of these races, with the race being a bit longer, one of the unique aspects of this race is we might see more drivers elect to race in pairs. And I'm believing that Omar will be doing so. So when he makes his pit stop inevitably during the race, we'll see something go. And we've got Gabba versus Peter, 21st versus 20th overall. Gabba with a fresh car about to try and make the move past. He pulls out to the left-hand side. Plenty of power for Gabba. He's going to get blocked in by... they've elected to go either side of Donald there. That's a fantastic bit of driving for both of them. Peter Farr going on the inside, Gabba going on the outside. He's going to lose out a little bit there. And we've got another one of the Group 4s behind Nozzle there as well. And wow, it's going to be a big toe for Nozzle. That's a double slipstream, bump drafting down like it's the final lap of the... oh my goodness me, they're three wide. This is fantastic stuff. Nozzle's going to try and go down the inside in the middle of both of them. A little bit of a tap there for Peter, but then Gabba goes down the inside and elects to go past both of them. Absolutely brilliant stuff. There's action on the final lap of the Light Beer 500. Absolutely incredible stuff from all involved. And
amazing. I was going to say, amazing stuff there. Gabba's saying he wants one and he'll have another one for free as well. But we have a battle raging in the road class again as well. Say it with me, everyone. Get this on your bingo card. It's Sufor versus Trespasser. Who foresaw this coming?
No way.
Main protagonists in the road class. We've been saying this for the last 4 rounds. These two are fantastic. That's a great lunge. And look there from Sufor, but nothing doing from Trespasser. 0.5 seconds the advantage. I do feel like I've said that before as well. These two have been battling with each other, rubbing shoulders, banging heads, locking wheels, everything you can possibly can. They've been joined at the proverbial hip and they have produced some amazing racing. But here we have Twin Cam exiting the pit lane. with damage and tyre compound change as well for him as he continues his march to try and take advantage of the Group 2 program. And there we've got Highwatt overtaking one of the Group 4 cars, looking slightly more damage there as well. But Highwatt continues his march to try and catch up with Cried and win the championship.
Well, that's another aspect we don't talk about very often in this series. You can't, when you change your tyres, why not change compound as well? If you've got it wrong in testing, try something new. See if you can make some ground.
Absolutely, it's a really good point. We see Unite taking 8th position. Sufor now looking hard at Trespasser. As you say, Kieran, we've said that once or twice this season, but Sufor on yet another one of these long straights past turn 6, down towards the right complex of 7, 8 and 9, I believe now. Sufor, will he manage to get a little bit of slipstream, a little bit of tow in Trespasser? It looks like they're quite actually evenly matched on top speed, not really getting much in the way of ground as they jump over that little bump on the road. And on the brakes, can he gain? He's gaining quite a lot, actually. That's a really solid braking zone for Sufor, getting right in there behind Trespasser. And I think that if he can get a good exit here, he might have a chance to look as they go into the bus stop chicane of 12 to 15 as well. But it's certainly a fast and frenetic race for these guys. On the grass goes Sufor on the right-hand side, as we then see, like a flash, I believe that was Dennis Lynn going past in the Prototype 2 very briefly, as we cut towards Thamuli. 52 seconds to the good. We've said it a few times before this season, while you see fast and frenetic action everywhere else on the track, sometimes you can cut to Thamuli and for some reason he's completely alone on the circuit. He's on a different bit of the race to everybody else, and it's looking like a bit of a Monday night drive.
And he's so sensible with traffic as well. He'll take his time because he doesn't need to rush at the moment. But we've seen at other races where you've got some more competitive cars in that class. It really puts pressure on him. He really struggles to make up that ground and make those sensible calls. He just rushes everything. We've seen a couple of mistakes, but I think this race, the way it's going, it could well be another Thamuli 1 minute win.
Absolutely. Mouseman on Lorenzo, half a second, that margin for Mouseman to try and make up as they head onto the fast road section here at Westhill de la Sarthe. Mouseman looks like he's going to have a good opportunity in the next couple of corners, especially if Lorenzo bowls wide in close to the wall there. It's going to be a good run out from Mouseman in the spec LMP2 category. He's going to get another opportunity in this tight section. Lorenzo looks like he's pushing that car exceptionally hard, perhaps a little too much. And you have to think how they get into the open section here. It's a matter of time in the slipstream.
I think Seamont's just showing his nose and putting him under pressure, trying to see if he can eke a mistake out of him.
Absolutely, Mouseman and Lorenzo going past Newhouse there, nicely navigated, and Mouseman deep into the slipstream here on one of the longer straights on the circuit, going to elect to pull out to the left-hand side. We've got Donald there. They're both going to have to just drift over to the right-hand side just to make sure they've got the time. Really good stuff from Lorenzo, giving him room there. Mouseman getting past in the slipstream before they even reach the braking zone. A really clean move. You have to say, though, I think that Lorenzo was probably quite cooperative, knowing that we've only just started the normal race distance of a Retro Cup race. There's plenty of time to go. It's probably not worth worrying about it, as we see Dennis, the leader in this category, Prototype 2, electing to take his first pit stop.
You just saw in the initial part of that long straight, Lorenzo started just gently pushing Mouseman towards Donald, the slower moving vehicle there, and then electing to swing it wide through the left-hand kink and open up the gap for Mouseman to make the move. Thinking about the long game there, both drivers there, which is really, really good to see, and giving firm but fair racing, which is a consistent theme throughout the championship. It's been really, really good. And speaking of firm, fair and good racing, Sufor and Trespasser are still going at it. And
it's our classic one, isn't it?
It is.
If you get a bit of a lull, switch to these two, they'll be scrapping no matter what.
Our TV directors absolutely love it. They know they can always cut back to these two, and they will be looking for a move, planning a move, putting the other one under pressure. It's great stuff. And not that this battle needs any more jeopardy, but let's not forget 2 rounds ago, as Sufor gives us a big flash of the headlights going through shot there, Sufor had to retire due to, I believe it was a hand injury, and had lost out on quite a significant amount of points. This battle will go down to the wire in terms of who wins the road class category, and these are definitely your 2 contenders. But Sufor finds himself at the disadvantage because of that. Really happy to hear he's made a full recovery, but as he pushes on for an extended and 25% on top of normal race distance, will that hand become another injury to play into the rest of the race?
Well, want to keep an eye on this one because it looks like Maserati might be gaining on Unite in that McLaren. So Prototype 2 gaining on Prototype 1 here.
Yeah, good spot. We've got Cooper in the pits, who has been one of our key players so far in the Prototype 2 category. Been in the battle, but unfortunately had a bit of an issue. He's elected to pit here. Obviously, that might just be hopefully for a mandatory or a normal service, as he takes the pretty unique exit from the pit lane here at Westhill and Sarthe. Here, Redman, unfortunately, has elected to stop, at least for now, as we see Thamuli coming through to start yet another lap of the Westhill de la Sarthe circuit.
We've got a battle raging on here between Kieran here and Peter, both of them looking to take the spotlight away from the current leading group 4 category leader. Just trying to work out who that is. The grey name is blending into the background, unfortunately, so I can't quite see. L Racing, I believe, is our current championship leader in the group 4 category. There he is on screen now, pushing on very, very nicely in another stupendous livery there. Love that. I'm trying to work out who that's inspired by, but that's really, really good. Oh, it's a default livery, as I'm hearing in my ear as well. That's a really, really nice livery, actually. That's great. But again,
yeah, I think when the car was launched, it launched with a few different stock retro liveries that people could choose from.
Well, the old is always best, isn't it? But there we have Unite.
Oh,
we have someone in the wall and spinning and in the wall again in the Marlboro livery. Another great one, but looking not quite as good there. That's Ruby, our co-commentator, our friend there. Oh, my word, Ruby. No, that's not what you need. Shebin needs to get himself back to the pits there to pick up some repairs. We will give you updates on what is happening with him. His race was running oh so well at that point, but just fell apart there.
Very unfortunate for him that we happen to be looking and see him in the background there.
Absolutely. We've got plenty of action here in Prototype 2. Dennis, having made his pit stop, is now right on the back of Mouseman, who is in turn right behind Lorenzo. It looks like those two have switched position again, but it's only a matter of time. Dennis getting a brilliant exit from under the underpass there, getting down the inside, going into the left-hander. Looks like he's made that move really nicely and cleanly. We're hearing that Gabba has spectated in a pretty big move for that category as well. But Dennis now just under a second away. Let's see what it is as he crosses the line. 1.4 seconds, I think that was, as I saw, away from Lorenzo. So it's only going to be a matter of time, you feel, until Dennis is back in the lead of the Prototype 2 category. His pace, you can see it, is absolutely blistering in comparison to his competition.
Well, that Gabba one's a strange one, because he's someone that we've seen chop and change between cars and usually wins when he jumps in them. But yeah, today he's just struggled in that car. I'm not sure what could be causing that, but yeah, I mean, hopefully he'll rejoin again, but I'm not sure.
Absolutely. We see Dennis deep in the slipstream of Lorenzo, going through this fast and flowing section here at Westhill de la Sarthe. Pulls out to the left-hand side, onto the grass. The escape road there helped him ever so slightly catch it back. Goes right to the wire on the circuit and then elects to pull out of the slipstream, getting past Lorenzo on pure power alone. Dennis putting every single margin of the circuit to good use there as he takes the lead once more in Prototype 2. But Lorenzo back into the slipstream. He's going to come back at him here. They are side by side again. As they go over the jump, we're going to see formation flying, and it's Lorenzo that takes the lead with Lind, but he's pulled back to the right hand side. He's going to have the inside for the next corner, and indeed as they go into the chicane, Dennis gets it back again there. Great racecraft from the both of them. Mouseman watching with his tongue, his mouth watering, hanging out of his head, knowing that at any moment this could be his for the taking. But it looks like Dennis, as he gets past, I believe that would be RD2, and that was very close from Lind. But yeah. Lind is... And it looks like we've got Hermani going wide as well. But yeah, Lind making some absolutely fantastic moves here in Prototype 2 to take the lead of the class.
I think Dennis Lind will have said too soon, Junior, there. Lorenzo pulled ahead, and then Lorenzo cut back again just before the braking zone and dived down the inside. Sorry, Kieran.
I was going to say, you can quote movies, Adam. I can quote movies as well. He said, if you hit the brakes, I'll fly right by. That was Maverick versus Viper. And we've got Mies backwards, and he's got it painted in the wrong direction.
That's a significant bit of damage.
That's a deranged front end of that Ferrari. He's just going to shake it loose to see whether or not there's anything that's going to fall off. But you have to hope that that's not going to be as bad as it looks.
Not much left to fall off, unfortunately. That is a very, very sad looking Ferenzi from your Prototype 1 category. That's not how they come from the factory, let me tell you about that. That will certainly need to go back to the pits for repairs. And that might be Meese's opportunity to run a slightly different strategy. But that right there is a very sad looking Ferrari. What a shame for Mies.
Well, you might see in the corner, Mia's had a VR headset on. He does race in VR, which is really impressive. But yeah, I mean, it wouldn't have helped when he has a crash, and that would throw you off a little bit, I think.
Yeah, possibly quite sickness-inducing when you have an incident like that, unfortunately. If you look at the timing tower at the moment, we can see pit stops and who has done what so far. So we've got Dennis Lind, the first of our stoppers in Prototype 2, and indeed in the race with Unite, third position overall with a stop in his McLaren. Next up, you've got to go all the way down to 10th position to Roney. So we've got 2 of our 4 Prototype 1 cars electing to stop in the relatively early proceedings. And when we also saw Cooper as well making his. A little bit further down, we see
right?
Six Killer just going into the pits now as well. But yeah, we're seeing a lot of split strategies. But I would say probably a fifth of the field, maybe just under a quarter. Once you look at the rest of the field in the top classes electing to stop relatively early.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what strategies come into play in the latter stages of the race. Still early days in the race so far. We are yet to touch the 1 hour mark, not at half race distance. So interesting to see how those strategies converge at the end of the race. But speaking of things converging, we have Lorenzo and Mouseman chasing each other down as they compete for second place overall in category. It looks like a one-man show at the front with Dennis Lind, who is putting on the drive of his life with some wild overtakes and maneuvers through this section in particular on the last lap, which our cameras did pick up. But Mouseman and Lorenzo appear to be very, very evenly matched as he is in the draft and has the overspeed and the run. We are heading to the takeoff ramp as we see who will get the drag. Both of them side by side, up and over the hill, past the village, under the barriers. Through they go, over the hill, and amazingly, they both avoid contact, but Lorenzo has the overspeed, the overrun, and into the braking zone. They break downhill, and Lorenzo throws it up the inside, through the chicane. Nicely done, block pass on the exit. Lorenzo keeps his position. Brilliant work by the two of them there. And we have Dennis and Unite continuing their scrap at the front of the grid. LMP1 versus LMP2. And Dennis is putting on a clinic, throwing him through nice and tight up to the rear bumper of Unite. He's looking but nothing doing. Unite is going very, very defensive there. Dennis is looking left and right, looking up the inside and to the outside. Slower moving traffic moving out the way. Really nice to see, but this is not what Unite needs to see here. Unite is on sideways and crossed up, catches it there. Amazing stuff. And Dennis well avoided by him as well. I have no idea, Adam. That was wild moment, but you could see the power advantage of the Prototype 1 car there, pulling away, but in the braking zone and out of the corners, you can just see Dennis is able to catch right back up. We have our Group 4 runner Nozzle there, getting out of the way, but Dennis using him for the draft and making every inch of it he can. No margin spared by our GT3 Pro, and not to be anything less to be expected. And we have Mouseman overtaking here. I'm going to hand this over to Rob. I need a moment.
Here we go, second verse, same as the first. It's Mouseman down the inside of Lorenzo, and it looks like he's going to just about get it done under braking, as we've got another one of our top Group 4 runners who elects to just move out the way. A really good move from Mouseman, but we know full well that when these two swap position, it's only a matter of time before someone returns the favour. Lorenzo on the last lap looking like he did exactly what happened to him with Dennis, going behind and electing to take the inside line for the next corner. They're going to go deep into the underpass now. It's the next left-hander. Can we see Lorenzo getting back up to the back of Mouseman? We're hearing that Dennis is also through on Unite to take second overall once again, and Unite is back ahead as well. That power versus grip battle is going to be something that rolls on for the majority of this race, I reckon, as long as nothing goes wrong, because the two of them have both made their first stop. Lorenzo looks like he's lost touch a tiny bit with Mouseman, but elects to try and get a bit of slipstream from the Group 4 car ahead. Oh, that's Nozzle again. Unfortunately for him, he's being rampaged by LMP2s, but hopefully he gets a bit of respite for the next couple of laps now. Lorenzo, as they brake hard going into the next left-hander. It's really close, actually, as they get onto this road section. I think it is only a matter of time as they keep heading down to see what happens there. Into a bit of relative calm, we see Cried going straight, going very well, going past the car with number 77 BMW Peter, who's got the hazards on. Whether that's deliberate or whether that's to notify the faster class car that he knows he's there, not quite sure. I think they might just be stuck on. But Pride leading the class, which means he is in prime contention for winning the Group 5 Championship, 25 seconds ahead of Highwatts. That's one of our key battles today, not only for the race but for the championship. And at the moment, that's heading the way of Cried.
Well, those hazards could always be because of how crumpled that car is. It's been in the wars massively. Hopefully, he's not losing performance from that. I would have thought he'd come in the pits if he was, but yeah, looks like he's had an exciting race.
Yeah, Peter's definitely featured heavily in our broadcast so far with the Group 4 category. A huge slide there for that lovely livery, that green and yellow car there from the Group 4 category, and well held by the driver. Brilliant stuff from there. Peter's hazards continue to flash on. Sort of the car maybe screaming something of a help me as it tries to power through the remainder of this race. 1 hour and 14 minutes and 15 seconds remaining. We are not at half distance. Do not go anywhere. There are battles hotting up from top to bottom of our 5 category race series here. This is the final round of Retro Cup, and we have Unite there still ahead of our superstar driver Dennis Lind, who is running in 3rd position but challenging the faster LMP2 drivers there. It has been great work from them as they both opt for new pit strategy and fresh tyres as well.
Look, I think we've had half of the normal race distance, and I think so far, I reckon these Group 4 cars can stay. I've been really enjoying the battles they've had.
Oh, absolutely. In my opinion, more classes is more fun for endurance racing. The Group 4 has already added a whole load of spectacle to Retro Cup for this round. So yeah, really hoping that they come back in the near future.
Well, sticking with the Group 4 theme, one of our main narratives here is Gabber. Gabber has been our superstar driver throughout Championship. He has won every category that he has entered, but here, electing to try and get some silverware for the end of the year and enter the Group 4 category, he's gone.
Yeah, he's unfortunately not part of the event at the moment as it stands. He can, of course, come back, but it's going to be a long way back if he does elect to come back. But I think he's gone, unfortunately. Looking at that lead gap right now, of course, Themuli hasn't pitted yet, but 2 minutes and 14 seconds. That's a new record, I think, for Themuli's lead.
There's got to be a couple pit stop advantages in there for Themuli. He has run this race unchallenged so far, but let's not forget several factors outside of his control have befallen him in several of the previous rounds as well, including technical issues involving disconnects from servers. So it's not over for Themuli. Anything that can happen will happen here in endurance racing. So Themuli, while he has a big advantage, is not out of this yet.
Ooh, second place. That's big. 2nd place in the road class with a hard thud against the wall there. I was just looking at the screen thinking Trespasser looked relatively comfortable, but I think even more so now that Sufor has unfortunately hit the wall. Mies electing to pit on this lap there, looking like a bit of cosmetic damage repair as well. But for Mies, he's in a pretty good place, I believe, for P2 in Prototype 1. He is ahead of Roni as it stands, with obviously electing to take his pit stop now, but I think things are looking relatively good for Mies. And here we go, Trespasser coming through the chicane. That car looking as resplendent as it ever has done. You can see that gap to Sufor just behind has extended just to that over 1 second mark, with Steve Martin in 3rd in the category, 21 seconds back from our race leader.
Yeah, we had a quick check of we had our scouts out and they've had a look at Sufor's suspension. It's not too bad. There's a little bit of camber on the left-hand side that's gone, but it should be fine to carry on.
Great news, because that's a battle that we are really keen to continue watching. We know that Sufor needs to finish in the top 2, with Trespasser failing to finish for it to be a championship win for him. But I do feel like that today it is all about that race result. Probably for both of them, really, because they've been enjoying battling each other so hard all season. It'd be great to be the one that could finally say that they've managed to get the better of them over a 2-hour event.
Well, yeah, the second driver thing is going to be something for us to keep an eye on as well. I think the reason we know Omar is sort of planning that is because he shared his skin and it has a second name on the door. But I think we're basically just waiting and seeing over the course of the race, see what happens.
Lorenzo hits the wall there a little bit well on the chase for Mouseman. But yeah, you mentioned a good point there, Sears. So we may have to ask for forgiveness to our viewers, or from our viewers, if people are making driver changes, we don't quite notice who is who, unfortunately. But we see Nozzle hard under pressure from Maserati there. So Maserati making a... Oh, that hits the tyres there. I was going to say he's been making some good progress. He was the last of our Prototype 2 qualifiers. When you looked at the times, it didn't look like he got a representative lap in, but we know Maserati's pace, obviously, through his championship success. But yeah, now he's made his way up to 4th overall, or 4th in the Prototype 2 category, and he's about 34 seconds off the lead of Dennis, but of course with Dennis having made a stop.
I think those marshals down there are going to have to work in shift. They're going to be so busy this weekend, just picking up tyres and putting them back. Seems to be constant at that corner.
That's a very good point. They're doing a great job as always. Our marshals. Some of them are actually playing football and heading the tyres back into place, I'm hearing, but not to worry. We see Steve Martin on the screen there, having just been overtaken by Dennis Lind. We've got Camaro in the pits for damage and fuel. We're hearing. Damaged tyres and fuel, I beg your pardon. That resplendent orange car looking pretty good now that it's been repaired, to be fair, but he is down in 6th position in the Prototype 2 category and is losing further time while he waits. Meanwhile, Mouseman and Lorenzo, 0.4 of a second over the timing line it was last time round, and it looks pretty close on screen as well. Looking back from Mouseman towards Lorenzo, we haven't seen the two of them change position over the last few laps, but we of course know that it's probably only a matter of time before Lorenzo has a chance to overtake Mouseman. We see Sufor there being overtaken by 2nd place in the Group 4 category, I believe. Omar in that wonderful yellow BMW, a really good looking car inspired by some of the most famous liveries in BMW motorsports history. The gap between Omar and the race leader in Group 4 is not quite on the screen at the moment, unfortunately, but I'm sure as it updates as we go over the jump. Dennis Lind making a nice jump there, looking very controlled. I think that we can probably infer some of his setup from the fact that the car was nice and level as it landed onto the tarmac once more, but looking really good so far for Dennis Lind.
It's just so much confidence in the car. He's just so balanced, and look at how aggressive he is on these overtakes. It is decisive. That is the only word I can call it. Decisive driving from Dennis Lind, and there is every opportunity for him to cause an upset and beat not one, not two, but maybe 3 or 4 of our Prototype 1 category drivers. Brilliant work from Dennis Lind. He's nearly the halfway distance. Let's see what he can do.
Yeah, we can see on the overhead helicopter shot there, you've got Unite in the purple and black Prototype 1 car with the Group 4 between them. That's a bit of a slide from that Group 4, but Lind is going to go across and past, so that there are now no cars between 2nd and 3rd on the track, and indeed that is a 1.1 second gap. You can see Unite's gone straight on into that braking zone, and as I say that, Dennis Lind goes into 2nd position. It'll be a really interesting battle. I do apologise for the second commentator's curse of the race, but Unite, it'll be really interesting to see now with the power how long it takes to get back to the rear of Dennis Lind's car, and it does look, to be honest, like he's going to be there very quickly. But then to catch is one thing, to overtake when you're driving against one of the Prototype 2 cars that are so capable in the corners, especially in the hands of a driver like Lind, it's going to take quite some doing to make that overtake.
Well, that's you two both done one. I've got one coming up apparently, so I can only apologise in advance.
We'll have to wait and see. We've always got the hat trick one way or another, but fabulous work from Dennis Lind. Was staring at an open goal, just kicking it in gently, getting it very, very close as he continues to push for margin. He's not willing to give anything up, throws it up the inside of the Group 4 category as well. Really, really nice work there, getting past our Group 4 runner Conflict there, who just got blitzed past by Dennis and thinks maybe I'll need to follow him and just see what lines this pro is taking, because he is putting on a clinic. Dennis Lind runs P2 overall. Thamuli continues to lead from the front, but keep an eye on Unite. He will be looking to make up for lost time, sweeping into turn 1. Look how wide Dennis is going there through to turn 1. He's almost in the garages there as he tries to take as much advantage as he can. Unite opting for a bit of a tighter line through turns 1 and 2. Dennis getting all the way up on the curb and getting his foot to the floor as quickly as possible. As you can see on the timing tower, Group road class runner Hermani has entered the pits as well.
It's not unheard of for us to have these Prototype 2s compete with the Prototype 1s. It was a couple of rounds ago, we had a last lap, last corner overtake between the Prototype 1 and Prototype 2 cars. So they can be competitive with each other.
Very true. Maserati nearly got the overall win there that round, but Themuli had other ideas, didn't want to let that one go. It was a great battle between the two of them. We'd certainly recommend going back and having a look, but we have Clen on here, and there it is, Peter again on our screen as he hits the wall
side by side.
and hit together. Tyres everywhere, but somehow, some way, they both keep it pointing in the right direction. These are both teammates, and there's no love lost between either of them. Peter and Clen on there are doing everything they can to get the position. This is a very awkward moment here.
Oh my goodness, Maserati's gone around the outside of both of them, but it's Sufor ahead of Trespasser for the first time in a long time in this race. Trespasser looks like he might have the inside line if he wants it, but Sufor with the better run gets on the brakes nicely. They fall into line once more, but now we know what's next. It's that long drag up towards turn number 17, possibly, but we know that the next thing that we see is the jump. I'm, to be honest, lost at points during this track. Some of it looks quite similar, but all we know is that Trespasser is about to pull over to the right hand side. They are going to be side by side like they have been for so long this season. As they about to go over the jump, I think Trespasser is going to be ahead at the jump. Yes, he is, and Sufor elects to pull up and head. There we go, over the jump, heading into turns 7, 8, and 9. Thank you to my spotter in the track in my ear, telling me where on earth I am. Sufor with a big wobble on the brakes, outbrakes himself slightly there. Trespasser gets back through, and it is Trespasser once again into the lead of the road category. That's unbelievable.
With a gap as
conflicts with a spin out of 21st position. The front end of that car looking a little bit damaged again, and we're hearing that was in amongst a few other cars, so it remains to be seen who else might have lost some time as a result of that as well.
It looks like Omar's making a move there.
Oh, Rony's gone off.
Huge moment for Rony as well. Huge moment for Rony there, and he's blocking our Group 5 leader, Cried, there as well as he continues his run to recovery. I'm just hearing in my ear, Omar is through as well with a lunge, and
Not
he's
quite.
put himself side by side through the exit there, and Omar has taken the lead of the Group 4 category. This battle is raging on between these two. There's battles up and down the grid. Every class, every contender is fighting for this. While some championships are settled, 3 still remain. The road class, the Group 5 and the Group 4 are all still in contention as L keeps
that's enough.
And with a spin. He's gone, and he's keeping on the wall, and he's upside down, and he's just going to get it
watch
stopped.
this traffic.
Get out the way, get out the way, get out the way.
Oh,
and he is...
No, that's the leader.
That's the leader.
Oh my goodness, the overall race leader has been implicated in one. Oh my goodness me, L Racing has reversed backwards. We're hearing he's upside down at the moment. You can see him there. He is blocking the underpass. This is big problems now. L Racing blocking the underpass, one of the tightest parts of the circuit, with just over an hour of this race to go. This could turn things on its head as we see.
This is Retro Cup. We have no safety car. You just have to deal with it.
Absolutely. I get the horrible feeling the way that it's going to be dealt with is that someone might have to take one for the team, and unfortunately there'll be contact with that upside down and errant Group 4 car. But we're hearing that he's gone now, but Themuli with some damper damage as well. So that is, wow, that is a big moment. And I think that, to be honest with you, Themuli has got away with one there. It wasn't anything to do with him, and it was misfortune. But luckily, I don't think there's too much in the way wrong with it. We're hearing damper damage, as I say, but at the moment, he looks like he's going to elect to carry on because the car doesn't look like it's too deranged. Rony in the pits himself here.
I'm not sure if Themuli has pitted yet.
Right behind. That's an important one for Group 5.
But we're approaching halfway mark, so yeah, I'm not sure if he does have to come in for that damage. Probably about right.
Well, Rob, you said this race was just turned on its head. Well, L Racing found himself quite literally on his head as he managed to get out of harm's way, thank goodness. And Themuli now comes to the air, rise and jump, all 4 wheels off the ground, as to a little bit of damper damage, but he continues to push on. I do share your thoughts, Rob. I think he has really got away with something there that could have been huge for him there as well. And not just for him, but for Maserati as well, who also narrowly avoided disaster when he tried to navigate that incredibly small gap that was left there as well. And I'm hearing that L Racing has now rejoined. So while he has fallen down the timing tower, his laps will be added on post-race. Oh, and Magic getting it all crossed up there.
He's
And
got a big line
in
there.
the
We've seen one of the
wall.
Group 5 Porsches into the pole as well. 2 Porsches from 2 different categories, both outbreaking themselves with severe consequences there.
Magic
There's a bit
ran
of confusion.
I think Magic ran wide, and then the Porsche from the Group 5 category just followed him in as well. They just both completely missed the braking zone, and the Group 5 Porsche as well going wide there again. Magic has to continue his road to recovery now. Both incredibly lucky to get away with something there, but both have got heavy front end damage. You can see,
it's massive damage on
and
that
that's
Porsche.
huge damage
that's
there.
big.
Luckily, they are both really close to the pit lane. I'm hearing both front shocks are broken there of Bobby Six Killer there. Both of these guys will enter into the pits now. No, interestingly enough, Magic
And he's
opting,
also
not
got
opting to go in the
flat
pits.
right front there, Bobby Six Killer. So no wonder that car is an impossibility to handle. He's managed to drag it back to the pit lane. So great work
He's
from
missed his
the
box.
Porsche driver. He has missed his box though. And he gets it stopped, and there we go. Everything will be sorted in no short order. The Porsche service is second to none. We are now halfway through this race, so I think it's time to run through what we've got. Famuli leads this one at the moment by over 2.5 minutes. He's still yet to stop. He's the only one of our Prototype 1 runners who was going to stop, and I think we just saw someone have an incident in front of him there.
Maybe
So again,
Highwatt.
getting pretty lucky. I think that was Highwatt, which, in fact, yeah, Highwatt has dropped off the timing screen. He has left the lobby, so we'll come back to that one in a second. I'm sure he'll be back. But 2.5 minutes down the road at the moment, having made his first stop, is Unite with a 4-second margin over our Prototype 2 leader Dennis, who is 4 seconds ahead with a further 22 seconds to Mouseman. Mouseman in 4th place, second in the P2 category, has been battling hard all race with Lorenzo, but at the moment he's got a 3-second margin over the Italian driver, so a little bit of breathing room at this halfway mark. Behind him is Maserati. He was the last of our P2 starters, but he's 28 seconds away from fifth overall, third in the category. He's 4th, while in 7th place overall and second in Prototype 1 is Roni. And I believe, 3rd place in the category is Roni, and that's a pretty good result for Roni at the moment, ahead of Mies in 9th. But in 8th position is our Group 5 race leader, Cried. We know it's a head-to-head between Cried and Highwatt, and having just seen the drama of Highwatt retiring live on the screen, we know that Cried is in an absolutely brilliant position at the moment. Mies is in 9th place, 6 seconds further back, and 16 behind Roni for a podium in Prototype 1. While in the top 10, it is our first Group 4 runner in the trophy race as part of a standalone championship or standalone race within the Retro Cup Championship for 2025. It's Omar that leads. It's going to be really interesting when he pits. We believe that he is going to be handing over to a teammate, so a different driver will be in that car taking it from the race lead. In 11th place, we've got Camaro, 5th in our Prototype 2 category, while second in the Group 4 category is now RE2, as we see Nozzle has elected to pit that lap. So he's just pitted over the halfway mark, but Nozzle has been going really well, pitting for tyres and fuel. Meanwhile, just behind him is Peterfile and Clenham. We've seen some great racing from Peterfile, Clenham, RD2, and indeed Nozzle, those 4 providing plenty of action thus far. 16th place is our 6th place runner, Ruby, looking another one of our good drivers having a good run. It looks like he's just been overtaken by Bobby Six Killer in the Porsche, but obviously that Porsche has been delayed by some massive damage. Both shocks were damaged during an incident where he followed one of the road class cars into the barriers. In 18th place is Conflict, in the not the last of our in fact I think he's the last of our running kind of in the lead group 4 cars, while in 19th place it is the first of our road class cars as it's ever been. And there we go, going past is the overall leader, I believe, Famuli as well. Trespasser, 19th, first in the road category, 1.92 seconds. Well, you can see the visual gap, it's less than that now, with Sufor second in the class. As we go to 3rd in the class, I'm just going to wait for the timing screen. There we go. We've got Steve Martin who is only just ahead of Mad Jester for the last podium position. Mad Jester looks like he's about to make a bit of a run for it there. If that happens on screen, we will come back to it and we can cut me off. And we've got Donald next, our 23rd place runner, looking pretty comfortable. And after that, we've got Newhouse in 24th. Magic is in 25th, having had a bit of an incident, and we see another incident as he comes on the screen there. Good, holds the slide nicely. And in 26th place, we've got Jam 616, just behind another battle that looks like it's brewing. And then we've got Hamani, L Racing 9 laps down, and then Cooper, I believe, is our final runner in 29th. As we say that, Thamudi's in the pits, so I'm going to hand over to Sears.
Yes, so we got Dennis here running. Thamuli in the pits is an interesting call. It's just after halfway, which we've seen him do before. So I think this is probably a scheduled one. I doubt he'll repair that damage because he didn't rush straight in. Oh, he is repairing it, excuse me. So he has taken the option to take that. Obviously, with his huge gap, why would you not? But yeah, so that'll be damage, tyres, and fuel, I'm assuming, which is pretty standard for this class. And the fact he's gone halfway would imply he's on a one-stop. Kieran.
Yeah, agreed. The one-stop strategy could be the way to go. We have seen the other contenders likes of Dennis and Unite already making their pit stops as well. We'll have to keep an eye on how that timing works out when Thamuli comes out of the pits. 2 minutes and 38 seconds, his advantage as he exits now. We will update you on the timing tower as to that gap. But on our screens right now, Sufor versus Trespasser keeps on going. And I'm hearing in my ear that for the first time, Omar has taken over that car there. Now, I'm just hearing that Penna is moving and taking over the car from Omar as Omar steps out of that vehicle, having had a fabulous first stint. And we have side-by-side action between Trespasser and Sufor. These two have been giving us battles throughout. I don't know what we're going to do through the winter months without them. Hopefully there will be another series for them both to lock horns in because they have been fantastic. Heavy into the braking zone now, and plenty of room being given by both. Trespasser holds it round the outside on Sufor. Excellent work, but we have a Group 4 car looking to interject here into this battle, looking to overtake and get past and continue their run. I think that is Clement, if I'm remembering correctly, from the two. Sweeps between the middle and out. It's actually Nozzle, my mistake there. Sweeping through, avoiding them both. Trespasser leaving a nice wide line. Look at the way they enter. Four-wheel drift, taking as much of the apex as possible through the underpass, on the brakes, and through again, four-wheel drifting out to the ends of the turn. We have a very fast approaching Unite here in this incredibly tight section here now. Through this turn they go. Trespasser heavy on the brakes. Sufor up there, nothing doing. Unite will look to overtake them now. That's probably the best place you could have caught them on the start-finish straight. They head down. Do either one of them elect to pit? They're both leaning over, but I think they're just looking to maximize their entry into turn one. Neither of them pits. This battle is ranging on. 0.4 seconds the gap between Sufor and Trespasser. On your screen there, you just might be seeing that Mies is in the pits. He's the fourth of our prototype one runners, repairing a bit of everything, as Dennis is now overtaking this battle that continues to rage on between Sufor and Trespasser, both so well and evenly matched. And your leader Thamuli still with a 2-minute advantage on Unite, even with the repairs that he did, and as Adam Sears pointed out just before, running that optimum one-stop strategy. And who are we to argue with him, as our fourth place runner Mouseman enters the pits now, which elevates Lorenzo up to P4, second in class overall. Tires, damage, and fuel it is for Mouseman, but this battle continues to rage on, Rob, between Trespasser and Sufor.
Absolutely. I think we chose the right time to do the rundown. Action aplenty in the pit lane, and indeed, as you say, in the road class category, Sufor looks like he's about to line up another move on Trespasser. We've seen the body language of that Datsun over these past 6 rounds, and it's always the same. You can see Sufor stalking Trespasser as always, and I think it's going to be possibly not at the next apex, not at the next turn, but if it's not, it's going to be just after that. But yeah, looking like a really interesting second half of the race here. Steve Martin, with these two battling, I think has probably made about 3 seconds over the two of them, actually. So I don't think Steve's necessarily there for the taking yet, but I think he's certainly not out of it yet. And we've certainly seen plenty of issues before battling drivers when someone comes past in a faster class.
Yeah, I think Trespasser and Sufor have really exemplified the series because they have been nose to tail battling in pretty much every single race this year for an hour and a half. the whole time. At no point have they smashed each other off. No one's got frustrated. They've not started fighting. They've not started arguing. They've just battled and have a really good time the whole time.
They really, really have, and right now they've got a prototype one of Mies elevating himself around the right-hand side of both vehicles. Got caught in all the wrong moment there. It did cost him a lot of time, but keeping out of the way of Trespasser and Sufor as this battle continues. And I can just echo everything that Adam has said. These two have been putting on a clinic in the road class, and well, two of the reasons why it's been such a fun championship and category to watch this season. Both of them need to give themselves a pat on the back, whatever happens, whatever the result may be, because these two have been absolutely stellar. As I mentioned before, welded at the hip. They've been inseparable, borderline conjoined twins. They absolutely love this car. They love this series, and I would say they've probably grown quite fond of each other with the amount of time they've spent with them both.
Definitely, it's certainly the biggest class that we've had, and I think that we have to have one more mention of Kieran's patented 8-wheel Datsun that I think we're about to see again. Absolutely brilliant stuff. Lorenzo just whizzing past the two of them there. Sufor again, possibly not this lap. He's going to be a little bit too far behind, but RD2 in the pit lane, as is Conflict. Majesta getting right up close and personal with Steve Martin as well. Porsche versus Datsun, one of the more interesting intra-class battles in terms of manufacturers that we've had during the season as well. Steve looking pretty good at the moment, but really it's only a matter of time, you think, until he might be under a bit of pressure.
Well, that's something we haven't really had a chance to mention this race. This series does have balanced performance. It is monitored between the races, and they do a test race the week before, so they can test out, see how it is going. We've had no change.
Oh my goodness, sorry to cut across you, Sears. Down the underpass, Trespasser with a big slide off camera. We caught it just in the end there, and Sufor dives down the inside. A decisive move there from that driver. Really good stuff. Absolutely awesome from Sufor, capturing and taking advantage of a slight error from Trespasser. Trespasser is, of course, right on the tail, as you might imagine. But yeah, a rare error from Trespasser that Sufor appears to have taken full advantage of.
That's a 14-point swing, and it's not enough for Sufor to make any inroads into the championship, but it does compromise Trespasser a little bit there as well. Trespasser will be thinking of his championship here as well, and while the battle has been raging between these two, Trespasser has a title to lock up. But keep watching this space. There's 48 minutes to go, and we have seen some very unfortunate moments before our road class category, and including several of the leaders at times, and hopefully that doesn't happen here. But Trespasser has been the man on the pace, but there Sufor has been there to challenge at every step of the way, as we have series organizer Lorenzo in the pits.
Yeah, Lorenzo taking his second stop. Of course you can, go for it.
So yeah, we haven't had any change to the... I'll get in while we've got a chance. No change to the road class BOP for this round. We haven't had any BOP to Group 5 at all, I don't believe, this series. But big change in Prototype 1. The Ferrari has had a 90 kilo reduction in its ballast and has been unrestricted. It had 2% and now it is 0%. But that car has had its BOP reduced to have a good battle between the Firenze and the McElroy.
Yeah, very interesting seeing that the Firenze, which we've seen has been pretty good performing all year, but the last round the McElroy looked like it had a little bit more of pace compared to it. But yeah, that Firenze has been well and truly unleashed for the final round of the season, and well, as it looks like at the moment, Thimuli's making full use of it.
Yeah, 1 minute 36 seconds his advantage over Unite, and then a further 4 seconds behind is Dennis. We need to keep an eye on that battle and see how that is incurring, because I think Dennis is making some real inroads into Unite's 4-second advantage there. But on our screens right now, Trespasser and Sufor continue to wage their war, and who will come out the contender in this round of fighting here. Sufor has the lead after that rare mistake from Trespasser, but he is running second in class and looking to tie up this championship. We ride on board with Unite, and you can just see at the rear of the shot, that is our GT3 Pro driver, Dennis Lind, who is joining us for the final round here of Retro Cup and having an absolute whale of a time in the in the Prototype 2 category there. Great livery as well. Love a black and yellow livery, and he is really pushing on. Could be a contender for livery of the race, maybe?
I'm fully on board with that. I love that livery. I think it looks brilliant.
I don't know if you noticed this, guys, but earlier on I saw Trespasser looked like he was struggling with grip a little bit. Carl was sliding, whereas Sufor looked pretty planted. We are approaching the end of regular race distance.
Yeah, that's a good point. We're hearing that the tyres are pretty okay from the telemetry that we get from these guys. No damage to speak of. Sufo's got a tiny little bit more damage, but at the moment, looking pretty good between them. We see Thamuli putting another lap on our two leaders in the road category. Trespassers clutch is apparently a little bit worse for wear, but between the two of them, hopefully it'll be okay.
Well, there's some big information in the chat as well regarding our road class category as well. There is a battle raging on for P2 in the championship overall. For your reference, guys, there, if Trespasser finishes, if Martin finishes in P3, Sufo will elevate himself above him into P2 into the championship. It's really, really tight battles at the top of the road class category.
Absolutely. I think it's yeah. I'm sorry, I'm just looking at the screen, enjoying everybody going around this track at full pelt. Dennis Lynn going around the outside of Jam 616. And we've got, I believe, what have we got there? We've got I'm trying to work out, sorry, who that was in the red Group 4 car, but looking at the it's got L Racing in that car, but looking at 11th place as the leader in Group 4, we've got Penna now in for Omar. We're hearing that Dennis is off, and it looks like a pretty big one. You can see the skid behind him there.
Oh,
and he's got a puncture as well. It looks like it is the right rear that is deranged, and that's going to be a really tough ass to drag that one back.
And he is not close. He's not close to the pits either. He has quite some distance to go, half a lap's distance to try and get back to the pit, including a couple of really big long straights as well. He's going to have to be so careful getting this back to the pits. But while this is an unfortunate moment for Dennis, the race is not over for him. If he can keep this controlled, not cost himself too much time, he can get that tyre repaired and get back out competing for the podium positions. But there, he's just hitting the wall there now as the car snapped under braking. He's going to have to be so careful to balance with the wrist management here as he powers down the back straight with 3 wheels on his wagon.
Well, if it counts for a mental commentator's curse, I've done that, because I was just preparing to compliment him for jumping into a series against people that have been doing it for weeks and weeks and weeks, and really managed to compete with, I'm not sure how much practice he's had, but he was asking for some help with the livery a couple of hours ago before the start. So I was going to compliment him and say how well he's doing jumping into a car in this series with people who've been doing it consistently. But
unbelievable. Yeah. And as you can see the attitude of the car there, the front left is pitching upwards, the wheel is at a 30-degree angle, and he is actually doing such a good job even of bringing that one home as it is. It's, that is a car that is not going slowly by any means. And unfortunately, he's gone for a bit of another. He's gone for an excursion. He's hit the wall. That's possibly a little bit worse in terms of the damage. Can he get it spun round? Indeed, he can.
He's tried to shorten the track by using that bit of grass, and he's gone in a dip, and it's just spun him round with that flat tyre.
Yeah, that was hard luck.
I would not want to think about the characteristics of that car. It looks like an absolute animal, like a backed into the corner. He hit the dip, and the weight pitched to that flat right rear, easy for me to say, and then it just spun the car completely. But he has been able to get this back to the pits. Dennis is nearly in there now, and I'm just hearing in my ear that Maserati might need to be coming in as well. So while this is bad news for Dennis, who just about gets it into the pits, just needs to stop on his marks there, and then he will be A-OK. It will be Maserati pitting shortly after him as well, so he might not lose too much time. Luckily for Dennis there, he is in the pits, and Maserati, I am actually hearing his tyres are fine.
Absolute drama there in the Prototype 2 category. We see Maserati going past. He will indeed elect to pit on this lap with 42 minutes to go. He'll drive past, or at least see Dennis's car right there in the pits with him. Of course, Dennis will go out first. We can see the tyre compounds there. We've got the R2 on Dennis and Maserati's car there, as I think are all of the Prototype 2 runners, and indeed the P1s.
This is a great graphic.
This is awesome. In the Group 4 class, we've got Clennon and Peter File in the R3s, while in, of course, the road category, we've got the sport tyres. A bit of a slide there from Peter File. Maybe the R3 is electing not to be the best of compounds. Maserati leaves the pit lane and indeed takes the lead in Prototype 2. Dennis is still sat in the pit lane at the moment. Lind will have to wait, and here he is just starting to roll now. But This is going to be a fascinating 40 minutes. The damage on Dennis's car has been repaired. Maseratis has not been repaired. I'm very interested to see what this gap is as they both cross that timeline for the first time. 40 minutes to shoot down the gap. That's going to be my question to you guys in a minute.
Well, I was going to suggest that Maserati could have played some games in the pits by parking in front of Dennis Lynn, but it turns out he didn't even need to because he set straight out, obviously without the damage, straight out in front. No need to play any games or miss back anyway. He came into the first pit box, came out ahead.
And let's not forget as well that Maserati has also changed tyres in the pits as well. So he's got fresh boots on his wagon as well as he continues his personal last to first challenge. Remember, he qualified last in the Prototype 2 category as well. And while we've said all of that as well, Lorenzo has elevated himself above Dennis as well. So Maserati finds himself one position, finds a car between both of them as well. So Dennis 4.5 seconds behind from Lorenzo, who in turn finds himself behind Maserati. Three amazing protagonists fighting for the Prototype 2 category. I am absolutely loving this battle that's raging. And speaking of raging battles, right now, Sufor and Trespasser, and they've tripped over each other. Oh! Trespasser hits Sufor in the back, and he's waiting for him there. A lovely bit of sportsmanship there. That is the first touch and mistake for both of them there. We haven't seen them collide once in 6 rounds of racing. It's been incredibly respectful. And Trespasser appears to have waited ever so slightly, but feels that maybe he was in the right and fair to do so, as he now pulls ahead of Sufor. This battle rages on between both of them for the road class win.
Yeah, great sportsmanship there, I think, overall from Trespasser. It looks like he's waited to redress in terms of the time loss that Sufor would have had. But now, obviously, those positions have changed, so it'll be interesting to see what they think afterwards. But overall, you have to say, pretty good work there. And Trespasser, we're seeing on the telemetry, is lifting off to let Sufor back up towards, but you don't want to lose too much time. At the end of the day, Steve Martin is only 18 seconds back from the pair of them, and that's really good racing. Redressing the move, I think it's the best way of doing it, is keep the stewards out of any of this, because we know that if the drivers race fairly like that, and if something goes wrong, they can rectify it themselves. Then that is absolutely awesome stuff. Sufor, going back through to take the lead of the road category. Looking at that gap for 5th place overall, Dennis in 3rd position in Prototype 2. I reckon it's about 13 seconds he needs to make up on Maserati in 38 minutes. 5 pence is on the table, chaps. Are we saying yes or no?
I am going to go with yes. I think Dennis has been the informed driver this race, and aside from that rare mistake, which admittedly we didn't catch the start of, and it looked like a right rear puncture, whether that went down before or after the incident, I think he has the pace to rise to 3rd position and take the final spot on the podium. But having said that, Maserati and Lorenzo are the kings of this championship, and they've been the contenders throughout this championship. And while the trophy may be going Maserati's way here at the 2 hours of Westhill de la Sarthe, it's anyone's guess. For me, Dennis is the man.
Well, for me, it's Maserati. I think he's on form. He knows the car. He knows what he's doing, and we haven't really seen him make any mistakes so far. I don't think that I can recall from memory. I think he'll stay ahead just through attrition and staying out of incidents. Whereas Dennis, I think, has a lot of pace, but we've also seen a couple of mistakes as well. I think those will creep back in before the end.
Very interesting. I'm going to give my opinion in about 40 minutes' time as to who I think's going to win. Just going back to that road moment with Sufor and Trespasser, we've got Jonathan Palmer in the analysis booth giving us plenty of good information. Let's think about the championship for a second. If Steve Martin stays in the 3rd position he's currently in, and Sufor finishes 2nd, he will be 3rd in the championship with Steve in 2nd. If Steve stays 3rd and Sufor can win this one, he'll be P2 with Martin in 3rd. So this battle between these two is absolutely critical as to whether Sufor gets 2nd or 3rd in the championship as it stands. And crucially, with Sufor ahead of Trespasser, that means he will be 2nd in the championship. So absolutely fascinating stuff, and I think that just makes the sportsmanship of what Trespasser did all the more plain to see.
And that makes sure that Trespasser has to make sure he finishes this race. He is taking liberties here. He's not hanging about. He doesn't think, oh, I'm going to win the championship or just sit in 2nd. He is pushing for this. If he makes a mistake and hits the wall or gets damage, could be game over.
Agreed, Adam. There is no margin being left on the table, particularly in that final sector with both of those vehicles there going all four wheels off the line. And we have Dennis coming. That was incredibly close. And we've got contact ahead.
Lorenzo
and
we've got Jam there as well. And I think we've got one of the Group 4 categories. And Dennis has gone through both of them. I'm really sorry to cut across you there, Kieran.
No, exactly that. I was going to say Jam and Lorenzo getting all tangled up there and having their own incident happening in front of Dennis there as well, who's just thinking like he's like Moses parting the seas. Somehow, some way comes through at the right moment. We've got Unite, our second place man, in the pits as well. And Lorenzo rolls wide and keeps it out of the wall. Great stuff, Lorenzo. Well done, sir. Amazing stuff. Pushing for all he can. But there, Dennis finds himself elevated to P4 in position. But we'll have to wait and see if anything more comes of it. We are waiting for the timing tower to give us the gap between Dennis and Maserati, but there Lorenzo very lucky to get away with less damage. But we have Unite sat in the pits now. We are waiting to hear what he is taking in terms of tires, fuel and damage. But while he sits there, both Maserati and Dennis are closing in, but Unite now finds himself on his way, puts his foot to the floor, cuts the apex nicely, exits wide, but he's going to have cold tires now that car's been sat there, goes and exits through turn one. He's got Donald there in the road class category ahead of him, shoots past him there. The advantage of the prototype 1 versus the road class on full display there. Unite easing himself into this stint, taking it easy. You can see the car fighting him as it tries to put power down on cold tires as we exit behind the trees, now exiting there. Lovely stuff from Unite as he attempts to get those tires warm and tries to make inroads into Thamuli, who is 2 minutes and 37 seconds ahead up the road.
Well, that bit of track there, that narrow bit of road, like access road around that circuit, is Lorenzo's Achilles heel. He had a massive incident there in the first race of the season, and he's had another one there again.
That's a really good point, actually. Yeah, it's crazy how lightning can strike twice in that sort of thing. I thought we also have to give plenty of credit for Mo piloting that helicopter very quickly to try and keep up really good pictures, as always, here. And we've got Sufor there running onto the grass. Will that give Trespasser an opportunity to get into the toe and get past for the lead? It looks like it happened too close to the apex of the corner to be an immediate problem. But Trespasser's going to get a great run out. He's going to be on the right-hand side here of this now long sweeping left before the left-right chicane. And it looks like Sufor's going to keep ahead, but he's on all the wrong bits of the circuit, and Trespasser is pushing him exceptionally hard here. He's in the slipstream. It's going to be another long old run for Sufor. He can see nothing but Trespasser in the rearview mirror, like he has done for the entirety of the Retro Cup season. Gets it on the brakes. Trespasser, possibly a little bit of a bump there, perhaps. But that actually just gives Sufor a bit of a better run out of the corner, if anything. Trespasser still in second place. We've got one of the Group 4s behind in the distance, but we see Trespasser going really close here. Trespasser trying to pull into the slipstream once more. L Racing there in the background. He might well be a factor with the paced advantage. He's going to get there just as the two of them reach ahead in terms of their latest battle here in the Retro Cup. Trespasser on the brakes, but Sufor looks like he's got it stopped nicely there going into this next corner.
Even with the draft, nothing was doing there for Trespasser, but we have a battle for P4 in the LMP2 category overall. It's Lorenzo versus Mouseman. I feel like we've revisited this battle once or twice here before in this race. 32 minutes and 48 seconds left on the clock, and it all comes down to the finest of margins, 0.38 seconds. They both navigate their way through the chicane. Lovely stuff. Mouseman looking for the exit there, trying to fill the mirrors of the Italian Lorenzo as they dive into the second chicane. This is a really tight section of track. There's not much room for one or two vehicles, but just about both make through as they head down into this tight 90-degree right-hander. Mouseman very, very late on the brakes, getting in the wheel tracks of Lorenzo as best he can, looking to maximize the exits. Mouseman getting the apex a little bit better there, putting the power down a touch earlier than Lorenzo as the draft now begins down the back straight. Mouseman with the overspeed, the overlap, and now they run parallel side by side. Lorenzo looking for the side draft, not quite getting the overspeed there, but he will be able to tuck back into the slipstream. They're both heavy under the brakes. Lorenzo opts to step into the back of Mouseman, who runs slightly sideways. They both get sucked into the bottom of the corner, but both keep on going and keep it out of the wall. This battle is raging on. Lorenzo keeps his foot on the gas and keeps his foot to the floor. He is following as close as he can, but the dirty air is no doubt causing a bit of an upset through this really tight technical section there. Amazing stuff through there. They both push for as much margin as humanly possible, but we cut away to Trespasser, who has found himself ahead of Sufor. Both of them have elevated and passed up there before. Apparently it's the same corner we had incidents beforehand, but Sufor is up the inside looking for the dive now, but they're both side by side. Great stuff.
Whoa.
And the touch of the tires there, but Trespasser keeps his foot in it, sticks it out round the outside. Fabulous stuff. Great work from the pair of them.
Someone organised the cold dark room for Kieran after this one. Awesome stuff. Sufor has... Wow, Sufor took the lead for the briefest of moments there. Lorenzo now back in 4th place with Mouseman ahead. Mouseman smelled the cheese but didn't get caught in the trap. He is now on the podium as it stands. But we've got Donald right there in an inopportune moment for Mouseman. Will Lorenzo get back through as well? Of course he will, into the left-hander. Mouseman possibly with a little bit of a pace advantage. He is also only 10 seconds away from Dennis, and that margin from Dennis to Maserati in turn is just under 10 seconds. Lorenzo in the tow as they go down this road section here at Westhill de la Sarthe with just half an hour to go. We've had pretty much the regulation time of a normal Retro Cup round. We are now in additional time, bonus time if you will, and now Lorenzo looks like he's going to try and make a move on Mouseman. He's probably not going to be close enough this time, but I think he's going to keep stalking for as long as he can here.
But if I could also note, you see Penna there in 11th, lead of the Group 4 class. He has taken over from Omar in that DHL car and has maintained the lead, and I'm not sure what the gap was before, but it seems pretty healthy at the moment.
I think it's expanded just that little bit, as you say. He's got in the car, and it's always a tough one when you're fresh into a car, when you're halfway through a race, when everybody else has already been settled in, because not everyone's having or electing to make those driver changes. That is a challenge that I think that has been really impressive to see Penna continuing to drive with such class and precision to keep maintain the lead 20 seconds ahead of RD2, who has been no slouch himself in that BMW.
Then you also question, with the exception of Dennis Lynn, for these other drivers, how much use they are to these long races. It's 2 hours. You don't usually see that in these Live for Speed races. So you wonder how prepared they are, how much water they've been taking on, and how much they might want to jump out of the seat as quickly as possible at the end of this race.
But you also have the added pressure of being the second man in the car. You've watched the first driver, in this case Omar, go in, put in a fabulous stint, lead the category, keep it out of the wall and push on. That is a lot of pressure on the shoulders of Penna. 1 hour of driving, and we have a battle going on there right now. But to finish the thought there as well, Penna has the pressure on his shoulders to complete this stint and bring it home for Omar, not just his race but his friends as well. And speaking of fighting friends, Trespasser and Sufor continue to rage on, but they find themselves in the middle of being navigated by faster moving traffic. We had Maserati sweeping by there just on the left of screen as they head through this incredibly fast section, taking all of the margin and then some. Trespasser all sideways and on the grass. He's going rallycross style there in the Datsun. I absolutely love it. And again, as Rob mentioned before, it's the trademark 8-wheel Datsun. You love to see it, with a huge dive up the inside from Sufor on the lock stops. Fabulous stuff. And he cuts across the nose. We applaud that. That's in the booth. Amazing stuff. That is the move of the race so far. And here comes Dennis.
Yeah, Dennis Lind only 8.5 seconds behind Maserati. These two battling as hard as they ever have been, which means we are only moments away from Mouseman and Lorenzo, the battle for third in Prototype 2, occupying the same bit of track. And we all know what happens when there's two really close battles in two different classes getting close by. We see Unite on the screen here, somewhat in no man's land with a brilliant jump there. I think that one might be my favourite. The 9.2 from the Swedish judge I'm hearing. Brilliant stuff from Unite. He is second in the race by over a lap, but he's also 42 seconds and climbing ahead of Maserati. So that's absolutely great stuff from Unite. We see Lorenzo in the pits, 27 minutes to go. He's just electing to put some fresh boots on his Wessex. Meanwhile, Sufor and Trespasser, it's an unusual sight, but we're seeing them battling again, as you might imagine. Trespasser looks like he is just going to hold it for a couple of laps. I wouldn't, or maybe not. I was going to say I think he's going to hold station and just kind of get his tyres cooled down and work with the car to see what was available to him for these closing stages. But it looks like he's going to go deep into every single braking zone as we see Maserati flying past the leader of Group 4. We've got the two leaders in Prototype 2 and Group 4 on track at the same moment. They're looking absolutely resplendent. The DNF livery on that car, I think that is probably my favourite on reflection, as I think it is for Pete in our era as well.
Now.
Oh, well, I'm going to steal everyone's one. That's my job, isn't it? I'm just like, whatever's most popular, that's what I'll go with.
Well, I mean, if we both agree, does that mean we win?
Wow, yeah, the radiator is looking pretty deranged, I have to say, on that one.
Well, it also it's got a good logo on it as well. I think that you do hunt those logos out, don't you, Rob? So I think that's why it's speaking to you a little bit.
That's what it is, isn't it?
Proper corporate shield there. I love it, Adam. Great stuff there from there. But what I love is no matter the damage that is on that DNF livery, the Sim Broadcast logo looking absolutely stupendous, whatever the condition of the car looks like. It's a great livery. But again, a shout out, if I may, for the gum livery on Donald's Porsche. I've loved that from round one, and I continue to love it now. The blue, the yellow, and the flashes of black. I just think it works really, really nicely as a custom livery on that vehicle. I think it's really nice, and I think I'm just hearing in my ear as well, Pete is a big fan of the headlights as well, and I share the thought. It's a great car, it's a great livery, and it's been driven by a great driver as well, who still continues to play his role in the road class category as the battle rages on for that championship.
He has been overtaken by Mad Jester at some point in this race.
Yeah, I think that happened quite a while ago at some point, but there's been so much action here, there, and everywhere. We haven't quite been able to catch all of it. No doubt battles have been missed, but the ones we've caught have been absolutely fantastic. One thing I would like to say as we get eyes on with Sheebin, a fellow co-commentator of ours who's doing a great job in the Group 4 category, is the championships as they stand. For those just joining us, our Prototype 1 and Prototype 2 categories are settled. Road class rages on, as does a Group 5, but on our screens right now, Magic and Newhouse are fighting for position in that road class category. Newhouse has joined us and is looking to upset the likes of Magic, who finds himself an outside shot in 7th position in the championship with 61 points, although it is not going his way, as we have Unite splitting the difference. Lovely stuff. Unite showing us how halving fractions works through the middle of them there. Great stuff by him, looking for any gap that he can. That's a wide piece of track, and he fancies the middle of it, and then they go up and over the hill. Magic now powers down towards the heavy braking zone. He had that position locked up from Newhouse. It was great work by Magic, and I'm hearing in my ears now that L Racing Pitts, our former Group 4 leader, this race has very much fallen away from him. We will find out his finishing position post-race once his laps are added on, but here we have Thamuli, who finds himself a whole lap ahead of second place man Unite. It's been fabulous work from Thamuli, and boys, the battle rages on with Sufor and Trespasser. Here we go again.
It's deja vu all over again. Trespasser on the left-hand side, on the driver's side, and Sufor just cutting across. It's going to be deep in the brakes into turn one, the tight 180-degree right-hand hairpin, and it's going to be Trespasser trying to get the pull through, and then we're going to see Trespasser deep in the slipstream ahead of the next left-hander as they go over the little bridge. Trespasser pulls out there, but it's not quite enough. We're going to see Sufor keeping the lead, keeping a bit of straight for a while. Camaro, we're hearing, is backwards. Oh, and he's
there again.
He's in that pinch point just before the underpass. It looks like hopefully he's seeing what's coming. He's going to keep it turned round. He's going to keep it rolling on the grass. And he waits for the Prototype 1. I don't know whether that was Thamuli or Mies in the wonderfully liveried Ferrari, but it was Thamuli, the race leader. But really great stuff there from Camaro. Heads up driving. It's all very well saying, he makes an error, but actually he's managed to rectify it without affecting anyone else's race. Dennis looking like he's got a bit of a bent rear wing. The right-hand side of it is slightly low. Not quite sure what that might be. It might be that one of the tyres has been deranged, which has clipped the rear of that Prototype 2 car. But the gap between Dennis and the race leader in Prototype 2 Maserati is now 5.93 seconds, and we've got just over 20 minutes to go. So this, I think, is going to converge just at the right time for us here.
Sorry, Kieran, if I can jump in, I think we're hearing in our ear from JP that at this point in the race, no matter what, Trespasser is guaranteed P3 in the championship. Obviously, that's not where he's looking, but no matter what happens, he will at least be in the top three.
That's agreed. We are over 75% of the race distance completed, which means half points are on offer. And for those that are just joining us, it's double points for this round. So we've got full rounds worth of points on offer for all of our finishers right now. But if I could just go back to Dennis there, the wing looks like it's got active aero on the back of it. It'll be helping him through the right-handers, but maybe not so the left. But he finds himself only 4.9 seconds, apologies, behind Maserati. The battle for the final place on the podium rages on. And I'm hearing in my ear that Unite has binned it. Unite is in the wall with huge damage to the rear of the vehicle, looking to rejoin a touch safer there. Well done for Unite for not getting crossed with any of the drivers.
Side is damaged.
Look at the state of that.
Yeah, that car's pretty deranged, the left rear, with significant amounts of damage we're hearing as well. So it'll be interesting to see what that handles like as he goes through one of the fastest parts of the circuit now, heading up towards Ruby in the Group 4. Going to make light work overtaking them. But yeah, when that gets to the first braking zone, I think it's going to be holding the breath for everybody. Indeed, jumping over that little hill, and he's going to brake hard, and he looks okay. To be honest, it looks pretty good actually. Trespasser is right behind Sufor now, and he's pulling over to the left-hand side. It's a long run down to the next corner. They're going to get into the braking zone. I think Trespasser will be on the outside. Yes, it's the right-hander on the next one, and it's going to be Sufor on the brakes. Can he get it in? A little bit of rear motion from the car, but Trespasser turns in, trusting that Sufor is not going to do anything rash with 20 minutes to go. And indeed, he was right. Sufor holding on, but he's not wasting any time now. Sufor, every time there's a potential gap on the inside of a corner, he is at the very least going to show his nose, show Trespasser. And right here in your wing mirrors, you need to watch out. Trespasser pushing hard, sliding the rear of that car around. A little bit of high-speed understeer from the two of them. Trespasser clips the tyre barrier as they go through the underpass another time with 20 minutes to go. Sufor four-wheel drifting out, trying to keep pace with Trespasser. This is absolutely poised going through the next left. It's going to be line astern for now, but for how much longer?
Well, earlier I posited who was going to be able to withstand the 2-hour slog endurance race. Trespasser, we should mention, at the weekend entered a race 2 hours long and won it.
He really did. We had the opportunity to comment on that ourselves, and it was great stuff. I'm hearing Thamuli had a bit of a wide moment there. And speaking of a moment, Sufor and Trespasser locking wheels there through turn 1 as they start their lap now. That was a real close moment for them both, but once again being fair and respectful of each other. Sufor, huge contact, but they keep it going. They keep pointing in the right direction. That's the second time that they've tripped over each other. I think that's all kind of fair racing. It was a really close moment there. Sufor braking slightly later than Trespasser, but both keep pointing in the right direction. Trespasser keeps his foot to the floor. He's not going to be yielding any ground, unlike last time. The battle is heating up between these two. They know this is the last time these will both fight in this championship this year. They want to make it a good one, as we saw our race leader flying round the outside. You can see the front bumper of Sufor now has the print there of
I think Sufor there was just looking for every single margin he possibly could get and just pushed it a little bit too far and touched the back of Trespasser. Nearly caused a big crash, but they managed to keep hold of it, so well done. But
yeah, I think that was a rare error from Sufor getting in there a bit deep, but as we say, no harm, no foul, as we see our race leader yeeting over that jump another time. Great stuff. We've got Unite pitting after his damage, so we'll see what he does there. But we're also hearing that the L Racing, after we get his laps back, is likely to be 3rd or 4th in that Group 4 category, so still plenty to race for him.
And there we have our fellow co-commentator, Shebin, in the pits there. Fabulous work from him. He's gone solo this round as well, his first 2-hour endurance race there. It's been great stuff from him with 17 minutes left on the clock. We have Conflict now riding on board with him as he looks at our road class 1 and 2, looking for his opportunity to overtake Sufor. He checks that box, and now he cracks on with going past Trespasser. So this is a battle that is raging on for road class. Who will come out on top in the final round of fighting between Trespasser and Sufor? It's great stuff between the two of them.
Definitely. We're hearing as well that Cooper in the Prototype 2 category, once he gets his laps back, we anticipate he'll be about a lap down. So that probably means 5th in the category. So a good recovery from him so far. Mies, we're also hearing, has just hit the wall and has come back out off the wall, But there you can see he's just made contact with it once again, making a quick spin turn and continuing. So hopefully not significant amounts of damage. The car doesn't look too bad compared to how we've seen some of the Prototype 1 conditions throughout this season so far. We see Penner there going through from the lead in Group 4, making his way past Newhouse and Magic safely enough. Magic's going to look like he's going to go around the outside of Newhouse if he gets half a chance into the tight left-hander. He's still there on the outside, a little bit of opposite lock as he puts the power down, but Newhouse just about retains the lead for now. And we've got RD2 in the Group 4 class per second in that one, only 5 seconds off the race lead in Group 4, so that one's still all to play for. And a really good looking livery, that green and white car, the Ligier. We've got Dennis, Unite and Maserati all very much together actually. Yeah, we've got P2, P3 and P4 there as quickly as I can say them on the screen. It's Unite ahead of Maserati, ahead of Dennis Lind. And this is for position, of course, but this is also crucially for the lead in Prototype 2 between Dennis Lind and Maserati. They go past the road class car there. Dennis keeping it nice and tidy. Looks like
no
he's going to buy
championship
some time.
permutations here. It's all just for bragging rights.
Absolutely. Maserati, of course, our class champion for 2025, but Dennis Lind does not care a jot about that. Pulled out to the left-hand side, out of the slipstream, and he is through well before the braking zone. It's a left-hander, sorry, it's a right-hander, and he's going to get it stopped on the brakes nicely, and he rolls his car through brilliantly to take the lead of the class with only 15 minutes to go. I think that might have been a bit quicker than some of us had anticipated him arriving there, but now it's a question, can Maserati hold on and even make some sort of fight back, or is this a case of Dennis now extending that margin once he's got it?
It's one heck of a niche trophy for Dennis, but he wants to add it to his collection of silverware. He wants to win the Prototype 2 category at the final round, the 2 hours of Westhill de la Sarthe of Retro Cup 2025. I'm sure it'll take pride and place on the mantelpiece. And he's also looking for an overall podium as well, as he runs P3 in class ahead of the likes of Roni and Mies. This is fantastic stuff. P1 in class, P3 on the road with less than 15 minutes to go. It is all to play for, and we have seen huge moments in the closing moments of the rounds. Do not look anywhere. This race is far from run.
And just to reiterate, you've got Cried currently in 8th overall and leading his class. He will presumably win the championship with that result. But also down here with the road class, Sufal is, as it stands, essential for him to overtake Trespass and win this race. If he does not, he will not get second in the championship. He will get third behind Steve Marsden, who will take second in the championship with that third place result.
Yeah, critical stuff as we're only 14 minutes from the conclusion of the 2025 season. It's all still to play for in so many of our classes. We've got Roni in the pits. He is taking a bit of everything in terms of surface, as we see. And that looks, I think that might have been Newhouse there sliding behind Lorenzo. So a little bit of an excursion. The right-hand side of his car looking a little bit deranged. Another deranged car there in Magic, but we've got one of the Group 4s going through, and Nozzle there, and then Lorenzo going through. Looked like he went a little bit wide there, so that was a very good save from Lorenzo, and you can see how slow he's going there because Nozzle gets back through in what should be a slower car. I think Lorenzo just lifted off. Discretion, the better part of Valor there. Mouseman goes up to 5th overall ahead of Roni, while Roni's in the pits taking his service. Well, we would anticipate that Lorenzo might get somewhere there. He's just coming down the start-finish straight now, and it will just be a question of whether or not Roni can make it through the pit exit before. Roni's coming out now, we're hearing, and Lorenzo is just heading towards turn 1. We know that the pit exit is on the outside of turn 1, so we might see them nearby, but Roni is up the road, we're hearing. So Lorenzo not quite making it. As we see there, Nozzle going up the banking, I think, maybe. But wow. Yeah, and then here we go. He comes back on the track, over the curb. No harm, no foul there. Just a bit of time loss for the Group 4 driver. But yeah,
we are seeing a lot of mistakes creep in now, and that's something else these road class guys are going to have to watch out for. Steve Marsden is just cruising in 3rd at the moment, but you never know. They're basically sitting ducks in this race. They've just got to rely on these faster cars making their way through cleanly. If someone misses their braking zone, they get it wrong, they can just scoop them up and push them over a wall, and then that is your race. Not done, but at this stage of the race, it can be difficult to claw back that 3rd place position.
You just don't want to think about it, but we've only had one driver change, and can we talk about the potential for fatigue here? While the championship we were commentating on previously was more modern vehicles, more aids, more driver aids as well, albeit more power and higher ability to make quick decisions. These cars are violent and vicious. We've been saying it from the start. There's no aids here. Massive dumps of oversteer, huge turbo lag as well. You are fighting these cars from start to finish, and I'm hearing that Unite has had a bit of a spin in the tunnel, and Dennis is keeping it all on the road.
That's another puncher. That's a puncher, isn't it?
I don't know if it's just the wing angle, but he's throwing it up the inside. I think he's okay. No puncture, it's just the wing angle there. Everyone take a moment, breathe. We have 11 minutes and 30 seconds left. I was just thinking, I don't know what I'm going to do without Retro Cup. This is our final round here, but Dennis is putting on a show. We just sit here, we bask in it, we love it, and we've enjoyed the Retro Cup as Unite gets it all crossed over, and Dennis steps through. That's P2 on track. That's amazing stuff from Dennis there. Absolutely lovely stuff, but Unite is on the counter attack now. He does not want to be beaten by the pro driver. He does not want to be beaten by the slower class machinery. This is not what Unite wants. Unite needs to finish ahead of this, not just for bragging rights, but just for base levels of respect within the server, albeit it's no thing to lose to a driver the caliber of Dennis Lind. I'm so thankful we've had this real special moment to grace you with this. But look at the left mirror with the damage there. You can just see the damage model textures working away. They're clipping the apex. Look at how Dennis pulls away through the fast turns. But this is where the power of the LMP2 car comes in on the overspeed. Up the hill as we head to the rise. Sweeps round the outside. We have Group 4 car traffic in the middle. That's our leader there who is pulling over to the right. And I'm just hearing in the way that RD2 is leading that category at the moment. Up and over the hill does Unite. He reaches for the sky and comes down safe and sound with the overtake on Dennis. But that battle for P2 overall is far from over. Huge sliding moment there for the Group 4 car. Catches it there very nicely. But somewhere off screen, there has been a moment for Penna as RD2 leads that category by 4 seconds as we head, gentlemen, into the final 10 minutes of Retro Cup 2025.
Well, if I can add to some of your points, Kieran, that mirror for Unite, that would mean that if he's lapping cars that are on his left-hand side, he cannot see when he's clear of them. He has to be very careful moving it back across. Also, on your point on the cars, not only is it just the tyres and the fuel and all that sort of stuff, they've also got to manage the clutch and things like that as well. Yeah, they've got, especially when they do spins and they try and recover it, that can really eat that clutch if they're not careful.
Yeah, it's the race of attrition, of course, a two-hour race, everything is just amplified even further. The cars, with an hour and a half, we've seen some attrition, we've seen some problems in the previous 6 rounds, but you add another half an hour, you add a whole new ball game as Unite clips the left-hand side wall there when he makes exit in the corner. He's got a bit of a gap now to Dennis, but the power of that McElroy will just drag him up to the Wessex. We're going to see this plenty of times, I think, throughout the rest of this race, the last 9 minutes. As you say, Kieran, we've only got 9 minutes all of the season, and here we go. We've got Sufor right behind Trespasser. It was ever thus, and we then have Mouseman making his way through safely enough, but Sufor's going to go to the left. And then Trespasser's gone to the right. It's a right-hand corner. Trespasser has the inside line like he has done for quite a lot of these moves. But we've seen the two of these going around the outside of each other. We've seen them conducting switchbacks, and that's what we're going to see this time. It's Sufor making his cutback.
This is something I can guarantee you in life. 3 things: death, taxes, Trespasser will fight Sufor. It's a never-ending battle. It's been raging for the past 5 rounds. They're side by side, exchanging glances. They're banging doors down the back straight. I absolutely love this. I'm going to miss this. Look at them. They're looking at each other in the car. And the heavy braking. Will Trespasser do his trademark sweep round the outside, round the outside, round the outside? Yes, he does. Fabulous work. Sufor swaps in behind there into the wheel tracks. Wow. We have 8 minutes running. We have the last opportunity to take a look at the 8-wheel Datsun as it rages on. Sufor and Trespasser, thank you so much for the memories, but long may they continue for the remaining 7 minutes and 45 seconds.
Sufor needs this place. He needs this place to snap up P2 in the championship.
He looks like a man who needs it. He is pushing every millimetre of tarmac on this circuit, a little bit of the concrete, and then a lot of the grass as well. Sufor 0.3 of a second behind, but you guys can all see that on the screen. Kieran, we're going to get you some beta blockers for the off season, so you're ready for the reprieve next year. But we see Sufor coming off the corner hard. He's deep into the slipstream. He's going to pull out to the left. Trespasser down the home straight, side by side with 7 minutes to go. This one is far from over, but Sufor is going to be just on the outside. It's going to be that tight 180-degree right-hander once again. Sufor's going to try a Trespasser. He's going to try and go all the way around the outside. A Group 4 rejoins from the pits, but Trespasser just about holds the position as they come now down towards the next left-hander for turn number 2. It's hard on the brakes. The rear of the car's all out of control, but you feel it's ever so nice for all of these drivers. Sufor just clips the wall on the exit there as well, but Sufor hard on the brakes. We're hearing the leaders. Oh no! Two-wheel moment. Trespasser taking that thing to its absolute extreme. Will this mean Sufor gets a run down into the next corner? Right? He will as well. He's very, very deep in the slipstream. He's pushing. He's squeezing. Sufor left. Trespasser right. It's another right-hander. It's another inside line for Sufor, but Sufor is on the outside. He's well off the track. He's going to try and pull it back round. He's a cigarette paper away from the wall on the exit. Kieran, you take it away.
Trespasser trading in his red Datsun for a red Ducati there. 2 wheels, Marc Marquez style. Absolutely loving it as they head up down the top straight. Here, their climb up the hill. I cannot believe this. Trespasser has had huge moments where he's flipped previously, but Sufor with the overspeed around the outside. They will go side by side over the takeoff jump. Here they are. It's the trademark shot that we expect from Westhill. They are side by side, up and over. Not quite as spectacular as the Prototype 1 cars, but just as dangerous as they head downhill into the braking zone. Sufor stamps on the brakes a touch later, but he's so squirrely. Hangs on there, rubbing, and Thamuli enters the chat. Our race leader interjects himself into this battle, but somehow, someway, sweeps his way round the outside with little in the way of interruption. It is Sufor versus Trespasser, as it has been for the last 5 rounds. It continues to rage on. It's been round 1 for Sufor, round 2 for Trespasser. These have both traded paint, traded positions. It does not stop. It keeps fighting. Cried is in the pits with I believe with a puncture, but it all seems to be sewn up for him. I think the championship is going the way of Cried with the final 5 minutes of the Retro Cup 2025 raging on. Sufor and Trespasser stealing as much screen time as they can.
We're hearing no traffic behind Sufor and Trespasser for the next little while. This battle will go to the bitter end cleanly as you like. Trespasser loses quite a lot of time there clipping the barrier. Kieran, you take a breather for a second. When these two get close, we're going to hand it back over to you. I feel like the road category is well and truly yours for the taking here, but Trespasser stalking Sufor as he has been throughout the entire race and the entire season at times, it has looked like. We mentioned Cried is in the pits in Group 5. If that had been a race where Hiwatt was still in contention, that might have been crucial, but as we said, Cried looks like he's well and truly on his way to the Group 5 title. He just needs to finish it and bring it home from here now with 4 minutes to go, which is just over a lap on a track this long as well. Thamuli leads this one by an entire lap. Maserati only 2.7 seconds away from Dennis Lind for the Prototype 2 lead. Unite is the second placed car in our Prototype 1 category. A lap and 15 seconds at least. We're hearing that Roney has had an off, and that's in the underpass.
That would have been in front of the road class cars.
Yeah, he would have been in front of the road class cars. He's done well to get it out of there before causing any issues. We're seeing Trespasser coming in. That gap is still pretty... that's the wall. It's a big hit to the wall. That's a big hit to the wall. As it stands, of course, Sufor will be P2 in the championship. But Sufor's gone wide. Trespasser's gone wide. This is going absolutely ham for the last 3 minutes now. Sufor, though, is in prime position for second in the championship. I'm just going to go through. We've got Lorenzo coming up behind them as well. We've got 2 laps to go on the track. We're hearing in our ear from our boys in the booth, but it's RD2 in the lead of the Group 4 category. Lorenzo, we can see on the screen there, it's his series. He has brought all of this to life for all of us, but it's 3 minutes to go.
Well, Trespasser, you can see, has not given up on this. He is still pushing as hard as ever. He's pretty much guaranteed the championship now. I don't think, unless without a crash, I think he's got that. But he doesn't care. He still wants to win. He wants his bragging rights. But Sufor desperately needs it for the championship.
Absolutely. Trespasser takes the flag here. He is the champion. So I think there might be discretion to better part of Valor. He knows that at this point,
That's
we see
Magic.
Magic having big issues there. And he's way ahead of Newhouse at the moment in terms of losing positions, but a big problem there for Magic. We know that Trespasser at the moment, as it stands, he's the champion. Su4 at the moment is going to be second. From a championship point of view, the two of them are exactly where they need to be. And maybe that's good enough for both of them at the moment. But what wonderful racing. I hope that they've ignored everything I've just said. Trespasser puts his foot through the firewall of that Datsun, clips the barrier. I think he is, to be fair. But I'm really hoping that he can get back through. Maybe grab a little bit of cheeky slipstream from RD2 in the Group 4 car, although it's not there for very long at all.
Well,
but,
speaking of Group 4, that is a single race trophy. And currently, RD2 is going to win that. He's got 20-second gap to the Omar Penna combination car. And with 2 minutes to go, I think it's unlikely without a mistake that they're going to be able to catch up and overtake. So that looks like it's going the way of that car.
Yeah, and who would have had RD2 down as the potential winner of this category? With no disrespect to RD2 or any of the other competitors, Gabba was the man to be in this championship, with him winning every single round that he had entered, regardless of category. He's been a phenomenal driver, but exiting early from this championship, just not having the same success with this Group 4 car. You'd have been thinking you could bet the house on it, where you'd have found yourself homeless, because RD2 is on his way with the final minute of the Retro Cup to taking the Group 4 championship. But while we take our eyes away from this, 55 seconds remain, and here we have Thamuli, who, with the timing in mind, might be able to just get one more lap of running for Retro Cup, and I beg that he does it, as we have a moment for Clennon, and nearly a moment for Roni. Hello, Roni. He saw Clennon having his own moment and said, I fancy a bit of that, and we can just see several cars like Magic are just trying to drag themselves to the end. Legs broken, arms broken, ribs broken. You can just see he's just absolutely battered and bruised, but he wants to get to the end. And the leader has crossed the line to start the final lap. We have run out of adjectives to describe Thamuli, but one of them will remain true: dominant.
Well, also, if I can just say on the Group 4, that car has not been out for very long, so they haven't had loads of years and years of practice and developing and understanding the car. It's been, a couple of weeks? They've been able to just jump on, get used to it, and then start racing. So it's really impressive for the drivers that have really jumped up, especially Omar, someone who was kind of here and there in the road class. Oh, miss!
Oh, Mies is outside the track there. We've just seen the issue, and that is a massive moment for Mies. That's going to cement him down 4th position in the race in Prototype 1. If he goes to the right, he might be able to get himself back into the confines, but it's going to be a bit of an exploration for him, unfortunately, and he has retired. But we're on the last lap here at Westhill de la Sarthe, and it is Thamuli coming through right now. He looks like he's about to go over that whopping great jump for the final time. It's something that we're all going to enjoy, that spectacle, one more time with Thamuli as he gets hard on the brakes, whisks it through the chicane, turn 7, turn 8, and then into turn 9. This is, I think this is a hallmark race from Thamuli. We've seen him so many times just being dominant. He hasn't had it all his own. But on this occasion, I think he absolutely has proven why he is the Prototype 1 champion and probably one of the classes of the field.
A trademark Thamuli performance. He's been fantastic from start to finish at the final round of the Retro Cup. He's been fantastic throughout the championship. It's not been all plain sailing. He's had his moments. He's had technical problems. He's had glitches. He's had adversity thrown his way. He's had his world rocked, but he was dominant in the early rounds and did the work in rounds 1, 2, and 3. And he has tidied it all up here in the final round of the Retro Cup as he heads onto the back straight for the final time. The glorious run of the Ferrari there, powering its way down, its cylinders screaming with no engine restrictions and a much lower weight penalty. Maybe in hindsight something could have been done about that, but I think you could have thrown whatever weight penalty you want. Thamuli has been imperious. The number 69 has led from the front from start to finish from Dennis, Maserati and Mouseman as that fight rages on for the for the second position on the podium.
I think he's back-to-back champion, if I remember correctly. He was champion last year and champion this year.
Absolutely. A class of one for Thimuli. He's going to come through this wonderful underpass at the Westhill de la Sarthe circuit for the final time. He's going to turn right and he's going to see Unite there, and that's going to be to put another lap on the Prototype 1 class second place car. Unite electing to let him past as he goes through the final corner to save having to do another lap. Good thinking, but it is Thimuli who wins the final round. The 2 hours of Westhill de la Sarthe will go to Thimuli, as so much of this season has, our wonderful champion in Prototype 1. We'll have quite a long wait. We're going to see what happens in the P2 class. We've got almost a full lap to wait, but yes, that number 69 car with the ZFRL livery looking resplendent as ever. Dennis is in P2. It was about a second and a half by the look of it, and you can see it on the screen there between Dennis and Maserati as they go over the jump for the final time. They are looking now to head down into turn 7. We still have about 2 minutes of this lap left for these guys, but Dennis is being well and truly hunted down by Maserati. Maserati looks like, and then we see brilliant donuts from Thimuli celebrating his championship and race victory, and we're seeing Cried there as well, which is great stuff. Dennis coming down now through the road section of this track as fast as ever. Maserati hasn't really closed up, but we've got one of the Group 4 cars ahead there, and we've got a road class car. Martin. We've got Steve Martin there, third in the road category, and there Dennis Lynn showing his prowess through the traffic, getting past Steve Martin and getting past Ruby as well. And Maserati
not
well
to do
and truly blocked there. Unfortunately, that's just the way it goes sometimes in endurance racing with multi-classes, but unfortunately Maserati loses a good amount of time there, which gives Dennis Lynn just that little bit more breathing room going through the right-hander there. And RD2 will be next across the line as well. He's going to come across the line, and he is the winner of our Group 4 trophy, the one-off round for the 2 hours of Westhill de la Sarthe circuit. A great result from RD2. He will probably be followed home by Penna, who was sharing the car with Omar as well. So really, really good work there, winning the one-off event for RD2.
But Dennis cannot afford to back off now. He's got Maserati hot on his tail for the class honours in LMP2. He has to keep pushing as much as he wants to back off. This is no margin.
Either,
nope, no mistakes and no margin and no risk management as he heads through the most technical element of the track here. Sweeping through the right-hander, catches the grass, holds the slide. Excellent work. Is he home and dry? Rob, we'll wait and see.
Oh, he most certainly is. He's got one corner to go, I believe. Maserati about a second and a half. You can see it on the screen. And as they come now through the final left-hander, he's going to come home to the adulation of the fans. Everybody loves seeing Dennis Lynn driving in Live for Speed. And it is a victory in Prototype 2 ahead of Maserati in wonderful fashion. He provided thrills aplenty, as did Maserati, our champion in Prototype 2. So brilliant work.
Sufo taking the win in road as well, which would give him second in the championship.
Absolutely awesome stuff. Sufo there taking the win ahead of Trespasser, which means everybody's happy in the championship there. Ruby comes through as well. Steve Martin, he's going to be third in the class, and I think that means he's going to be third in the class in the championship as well with the result for Sufo. And we see there Mies. We're hearing that Cried's got rear punctures. Cried's going to take a while to bring it back home, but of course he's the only man remaining now in the Group 5 category. That car looks like it's got a pair of T-trays under the rear wheel, gents.
Yeah, that doesn't look great, does it? He's really struggling. I'm not sure what's going on there.
It's both rear punctures. Yeah.
Oh, dear.
Both rear punctures. The moment he puts the power down, I think he's going in reverse. Unfortunately,
he needs to finish,
it wasn't
right?
a bad idea. He does still have to finish this one. I don't know whether there's a time limit associated with it compared to the final.
I think he was celebrating, if I remember correctly. We caught him doing donuts, and I think he's gone one lap too early. He's gone full Alicia Spargro at the 2023 Barcelona Grand Prix. He's celebrating way too early. Cried has an entire lap to do with two completely flat rear tyres, and he is disco spinning his entire way around the track. This is not a great moment for Cried. He's been
monumental
so good.
Mistake, isn't it?
In fairness, gentlemen, so he's leading the class, and he will be the only finisher in Group 5 once he gets there. But looking at that timing tower,
finishes.
Out of road class cars, I saw both Sufo and Trespasser celebrating at the end. They're not on that list. Have we only got 7 Class 5 finishes at the moment? Right, so we're waiting on Cried, and then it'll come through. Apologies for that. But Cried slowly but surely creeping it home. He is, of course, 8th position overall. But
on the other hand, it gives us more time to look at the livery.
absolutely, it's a good-looking car. And while we are waiting, gents, we've got a little bit of time. Obviously, if anything big happens with him, but we will have a bit of a chat. Driver of the day, and I reckon driver of the championship. Who do we reckon, gents?
Oh, I like that. That's a double barrel question. I will need more time to think about the driver of the championship, but I think driver of the race. Unfortunately, I think you can't say anyone else but Dennis. I think he's
Correct,
been phenomenal. Yeah, that's the right way to go. I think he's just turned up in a championship that he's obviously not competed in, and he's done so well. Just while we're watching this as well, and we're coming up with answers, maybe we can get on the blower to Thamuli to keep doing the celebration donuts, just to let Craig get across the line.
That's not a bad idea at all. Sears, how about you? We'll just go driver of the day, and we'll talk about the championship later.
Well, yes, the driver of the day is Dennis Lynn, but with a shout out to Sufor for getting it done when he needs to get it done.
Yeah. Absolutely. I want to give a shout out to RD2 as well. As you mentioned, Sears,
Yes.
It's a new class, it's a new car. No one particularly knows anything about it beyond obviously what they've been doing to practice for this one. And he's
That's
got
up
the
as
job
well,
done,
right?
and he's turned up for a one-off and he's won it.
It's difficult to get a setup for that as well with such limited time, so they've all done well. It's a shame for Omar, because like I was trying to say earlier, he's been sort of there or thereabouts in the road class, but not quite on the level of the top drivers. So it's nice for him to sort of be at the front and running really well. For his stint, they were winning.
Absolutely. We're also hearing from Jonathan Palmer in our ear that Cooper, once you credit the laps back, as we do for cars that have had strife during the race, he will be up to 7th or 8th overall in this one. So we expect him to be in the top 5 in Prototype 2. So a really good race for Cooper.
Was that Cooper? Was he in Prototype 2?
I believe so.
Yes.
Yeah. It doesn't disrupt what we've just been saying about Group 4.
Absolutely. So looking at Clyde still making his way through. I think I'm going to have a little think about overall who I think the driver of the championship's been. I think that someone like Gabba has to be in with a shout. I know that today didn't go his way, but we've seen his skills in multiple classes.
Can we just
throughout the
list off
championship.
rather than picking one?
We could just start from the top of the championship and run our way through, because they've been absolutely brilliant. And here we go.
Clyde mentioned Thamuli, who's won.
Clyde now with a new set of rear tyres that have been installed impromptu. He will be able to finish this one much faster. He's got one corner to go, and then that will be us completed in terms of the official finishes. So sparing us our time to fill here. But Clyde finishing off with possibly a little bit of an incredulous finish to the 2 hours of Westhill de la Sarthe, but he will take the flag and he will be our Group 5 champion for 2025. Brilliant work for Clyde there. And there you go. You can see on the left-hand side, everybody comes through, confirming that Sufor is also our race winner in the road category. And now we can go through the overall results. In a time of 2 hours, 2 minutes, 44 seconds, it is Thamuli who wins once again in the Prototype 1 category and overall for our Retro Cup race here, the 2 hours of Westhill de la Sarthe. Dennis Lind will take second, a lap down, but ahead of Maserati by a tiny margin, with a fantastic result that sees him taking the victory in his only appearance during the season. Maserati might be second on the day, but he will be our champion for 2025 in Prototype 2. And then in third place, 4th overall, was Mouseman with a great drive today. Unite will be our second place run in Prototype 1, 5th, ahead of Roni in 6th place. A good result for Roni that might well put him in contention, I'm not quite sure, compared to Mies for 2nd overall, or 2nd in that Prototype 1 category. In 7th, it's Lorenzo in Prototype 2, while in 8th position at the moment as it stands on the road, Clyde finishes Group 5 champion, 8th overall, 2 laps off the winner in Prototype 1. So a really good result for him. Camaro with a good cameo in 9th overall, ahead of RD2, our Group 4 winner, not that far ahead of Penna, who was sharing the car with Omar in the Group 4 category. In the end, our only driver lineup to elect to run as a pair. Nozzle's 3rd in Group 4, ahead of Peter File, someone he battled really hard with for a lot of the race, while Ruby, Clennon and Conflict round out the top 16 and our Group 4 runners in the main pack. In the lead and the winner for the road category is Sufor, which gives him 2nd in the championship. He finishes ahead of Trespasser on the day, but it's Trespasser who takes the overall or the honours in the road category champion for this year, while Steve Martin 3rd today and 3rd this season. Majesta is 20th overall and completes the top 4 in the road category. Looking at the rest of our runners, it was Donald next up ahead of Magic, Newhouse making a good cameo, and Jam finishing off his season with a 24th position. And then our other runners not classified or those who had trouble, who will have their laps reinstated. So we'll see them jump up the order post-race. We have Cooper, L Racing, Bobby Six Killer, Highwatt, who had a difficult day while he was in championship contention in Group 5. We had Gabba, Rayman, Twin Cam, Disnash, Hermani, Simox, and Mies finishing off 35th on the road here, but will jump back up after laps are credited. Our fastest lap of the day, a 3-minute and 8-second lap, a fantastic lap from Thamuli.
That was expertly done, Rob. That was really good. Nice work.
Thank you very much. I'm not letting you get away with it, though. Driver of the championship.
Do you need more time, Adam?
Yeah, you go first.
Okay, I've been thinking long and hard about this. I've been recalling every single result I can, and while I would love to give a joint one for Sufor and Trespasser for the fight that they have given, I really want to give a shout out to Maserati, because he, under the radar, sorry Adam, has been the man to beat. He has won everything in terms of that Prototype 2 category, and he has been so dominant in that class and has cleaned house early doors, and of course couldn't compete the last to first challenge today when he qualified last in his category, coming up second only to a professional GT3 driver in the form of Dennis Lind. I feel like the deck was stacked slightly against him there, but again, a great championship run for him and well-deserved win of the series overall. Well done, Maserati. You're my driver of the season.
Well, I'm going to agree with you, which I didn't want to do, but I'm going to agree with you, and I'm going to give a different reasoning. We've seen issues from Thamuli when he's had competition battling with him. We've seen Trespasser flip and have some issues early on in the season. It's a good comeback from him to win. But all those road class cars have had good and bad races, and it's been up and down. Gabba has been really impressive, but he hasn't managed to put together a title challenge because of the amount of switching he's been doing. I think Maserati has just... I don't think I've seen him put a foot wrong the entire season. All the hour and a half races we've had and this 2 hour, I don't think he's really put a foot wrong. Rob?
No, I like it. I agree with both of your choices, but in the spirit of having to be different, because otherwise it would be boring, I'm going to be boring and I'm going to say Thamuli. I think the pace at the early part of the season, when everyone was getting to grips with the format, everyone was getting to grips with the cars and really understanding what was going on, he was just imperious. And he was really clean the first few races. And I think that in some ways that gave him the foundation to enable him to take a few more risks. And maybe things didn't go all his way all the time, but when you put a good championship run together, you can't have a full season that will be perfect. So I was really impressed with how he also dealt with times that didn't go so well. So I'll say Thamuli. It might be the obvious one after today in particular, but there you go. So thank you very much, gentlemen. It's been a pleasure as well to share the booth with both of you throughout the season. Hopefully we get invited back for next season.
You'd hope so, right? It's been such a good time. I've really enjoyed it. I'm going to miss it when it's gone.
Yeah, it's been absolutely amazing to share the booth with you and to share it all with the guys and girls at home watching the series. It's been a pleasure, and thank you to Lorenzo for organising it. But now I have a big question. What on earth do we do now? We're out of a job.
we have to scrounge around the job centre, right?
I'm sure the boss will keep us busy at some point. And speaking of the boss, I think it's probably time to hand over back to Pete.
Well, amazing job all season long, boys. Really, that was some incredible commentary, especially tonight, to bring to a close what's been a dramatic and amazing season of the Retro Cup in Live for Speed. Thanks, of course, to Race Screen Events and to Lorenzo, who have promoted this championship exceedingly well. And yeah, I think this was your three's first sort of foray into Live for Speed, which you may have noticed had somewhat of a large announcement this evening. I don't think that one slipped you by, did it?
It was difficult to miss it.
Yeah, a little bit.
I'm very excited to see what you've got cooking up for us now.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that. We've kept the viewers waiting for 2 hours, but they did enjoy hopefully quite an entertaining race. But we should keep them waiting no longer. I will mention we have some interviews, but we are going to play the trailers before we get to those. There are 5 drivers, I think, waiting for an interview. Well, let's play the first, shall we? Welcome to the bonus teaser, which features this track again with one of the Group 5 cars with a lovely sunset scene around Westhill. Enjoy. All right, that's one of them. Don't go anywhere. Yeah, that was a nice little night scene. Well, a sort of sunset scene at Westhill with one of the Group 5 cars. You could see there some of the nice lighting, the sun cutting through the trees, and the windscreen glare quite nice as well with the sunset there. We've got one more. We didn't ask to play this, but we're going to anyway. It's a blooper, and we'll comment more afterwards. So a little bit of context, the FZ5 that crashed into the lamppost was New Dimension Racing's very own Jonathan Palmer, and that was a blooper from when we tried to film the cops and robbers scene during the LFS trailer. We just wanted to bring you that as a little bit of a bonus. The flashing lights are amazing in the new version, and we can't wait for you guys to try them. That is pretty much all we've got, but while we've got the commentators still in the booth, what did you three make of that stuff?
We like endurance racing. Can we see some of that, please?
Yes,
forward?
you can go and see that when the new version lands, I'm sure. But yes, that's what we've got for you, and perhaps we should consider doing some interviews with our drivers.
I think that'd be a great idea.
Who do you want first? Should we get the champs?
But we don't know who we've got.
Well, you've got Thamuli, Lorenzo, Mies, Trespasser, and Mouseman.
Let's go Lorenzo last, I think.
All right, leave him last. Thamuli first, then.
Absolutely.
Well, Rob, do you want to lead it?
Hello, Thamuli.
Hello.
Well, firstly, congratulations yet again on another imperious performance today. Absolutely brilliant stuff. I think the easy question, how did you find it?
Tough. I was basically hot lapping from start to finish. I was
Nice.
trying to beat the 309 mark. Finally got it on the last lap though.
Was it the last lap? I did
Yeah.
see the fastest lap there and thought that was exceptionally fast. So I'm really impressed. No, that's it's great stuff. So, 2 hours. Is it 25% harder, or is it actually like far harder again?
No, it's not much of a difference to half an hour. I don't
okay.
think so.
Good stuff. No, that's fantastic.
What do you, Thamuli, what do you think of this circuit and this layout as the finale? Do you approve of the finale here, the Westhill de la Sarthe?
Yeah, I liked it.
Classic finish response, thank you. Wow. My thing is, you went into this race with knowing you see you at the championship, which I guess allowed you to do that pushing. But yeah, Dominic, you really laid down a marker for next season that you are not to be trifled with.
Yeah, I hope so.
Will you be returning to Prototype 1 next season?
We'll see what kind of cars we have.
Oh, that's great news. That's a teaser. I love it. Well, regardless of what you end up driving, as long as you're back, then I think we're all in for a treat. So thank you ever so much, and congratulations once again.
Thank you.
Who do you want next, boys?
Just you throw him at us, dealer's choice.
I'll throw him out. Let's go for Thamuli's teammate Mies, who had a bit of a difficult race, didn't he?
Yeah, can I lead, please, Rob?
You certainly can.
I'm gutted for you because that, honestly, from the start, I know you were mentioning before the race you were a bit worried about being caught up with some slower traffic on the start, but honestly, your start was really impressive. Yeah, like, how was that for you?
I mean, I had like high hopes for this race. I had some pace for like. I had some pace in me there, but then in the very start I got some performance issues. I got like 20-30 FPS on some of the concrete parts, and when there's a bump and you go over that and your throttle isn't as accurate as you want, it's very hard to drive. But in the end I started just making some mistakes, and then they piled up, and the downshift with this car, they are very difficult. I had a hard time with them through the whole race.
I should remind people as well, you are one of the few people that we've seen that races with VR. Does that have any effect on that?
Yeah, I mean, I like the VR. It's like it's become a like necessity for me. All my screens are so far away, and they are so small I couldn't see anything from them even if I tried. So I really prefer the VR on this. It works so well on LFS, so it's much better this way.
Hi Mies, it's Kieran here in the booth. Just want to first of all thank you for all of the moments you provided us throughout the Retro Cup. It's been great to watch, and I know it's not maybe been the season you were wanting. I think it's not to underestimate the challenge that these vehicles present. And kind of following Adam's question there, I've never raced a sim race with VR. What's the biggest challenge for those at home that maybe don't understand that VR gives you, as well as you get the immersion? What's the trade-off?
I don't know. For me, the transition into VR was quite easy, to be honest. But again, I'm gonna say LFS does it so good. It feels so natural. So I don't feel any downsides. The one thing I had, that I have some kind of motion sickness, so I had a hard time bearing like half an hour at first when I got used to this. I almost threw up after half an hour, but I got used to it, and nowadays I can just go along and it doesn't matter. So for me personally, I would say there's nothing that's harder in VR. It's easier to know the space, how much the car takes space, and judge all the distances and stuff. So I think it's just way easier, even though it looks much harder.
Fantastic. No, I really enjoyed seeing some of your onboards with your inset as well, with you wearing the VR, so you can see the full experience of what you're doing, which is really cool. So kind of think about Retro Cup for next year. Obviously, we've just heard from your teammate. What are just your plans for next year? Are you going to come back?
Yeah, of course I'm going to come back, and I hope to get some more practice. Hopefully to get this car again, so it's a familiar car to begin with, and to get some bit more practice, so I'm a bit more prepared. And like today, I had some pace at the start before I started making the mistakes. So my main goal is to not make any mistakes, or do much less mistakes. So I could have got that P2 on the standings, but this time Ranu was the better one, so he deserved.
Wonderful. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Let's have Mouseman next, shall we?
Hi, Mouseman. Firstly, congratulations on a great race today. Really enjoyed watching it and seeing the action you were part of. As a driver who has kind of dipped in and out of the series, and obviously you've come back into it today, what do you think the biggest challenge has been in terms of picking the car back up and getting up to speed?
Hi, thank you. It was quite challenging, honestly, just getting about 2 to 3 hours before the race to actually get to know the car. It was reasonably difficult, but with the help of Trespasser, honestly, thanks to him for providing the setup, I could pick up the pace and at least get around the track just fine.
Fantastic.
Hi, Mouseman. I love the community aspect of Live for Speed, and particularly in the Retro Cup, and obviously credit to you for shouting out Trespasser there as well. And just wondering again as well, for someone that maybe be looking to join this series next year, in terms of reaching out to the community for that help, how have you found it when you've been looking for those setup ideas and changes and the ability to practice with the other riders and drivers in the series?
Honestly, I feel like this community is super helpful. Just join in. Don't be afraid to ask for help. There's always going to be someone who's going to help you out with the setups, with the driving, anyone. The community is super friendly here.
Hi, Martha, congratulations. I was going to say, we've seen you sort of experimenting with a couple of cars this season. Have you found one that you like, or are you still shopping around to see if you need something for maybe next year?
So the first one I picked up, it was for the most powerful variant. I drove that together with Unite, and I didn't really get the hang of it. That car is ridiculously powerful and difficult to drive. This one seems to be kind of a nice blend of power, control, and it's quite challenging as well. So I think this class of car, for me personally, is definitely the one to drive.
Thank you very much.
Fantastic. Yeah, thank you very much, Master. And we hope to see you back next year.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Mouseman, and also to Mika. Shall we grab Trespasser and then we'll talk to the host?
Sounds like a plan. Trespasser, firstly, congratulations, champ. Brilliant driving throughout the season. So, how do you feel?
Hello, thank you. Quite good. Was fun race overall, so had fun.
Hi, Trespasser, it's Kieran here. You are making a habit of winning endurance races. That's a couple there. That's really, really, really good work from you. What's the biggest challenge stepping up from 1.5 hours to 2 hours, do you think?
Not a big difference overall, so I don't think it's really challenging from 90 minutes to 120 minutes. Not a big difference. This track helped as well because not as much fast turns. So mainly a lot of straights, so a lot of time to rest a bit. So it was not really a big difference.
Well, for me, my question is about next year, because I think earlier on, start of the season, you did mention that you picked the car that you've picked. Because it was, oh no, that's right, that was Manchester, my apologies. But yeah, so obviously champion now. What are you thinking about for next year?
I'm not sure yet. Need to test things out because again, as I'm driving with the mouse, I have a bit more of challenge to drive other cars, mainly because a lot of those tracks are bumpy, so braking is challenging to lock up. So currently, still will see a route, we'll test a route. So maybe something different, maybe something faster, but we will see.
Thank you for your time.
Fantastic. Congratulations again.
Thank you.
Brilliant stuff. Thanks to all the people we have interviewed. That was excellent. And I think we should wrap tonight's proceedings up by hearing from our wonderful host and a man who's put so much effort into this championship, not just through the organisation and preparing all the layouts, but also every week he posts a very in-depth race report and provides us with some excellent backstories for the championship. It's none other than Race Green's Lorenzo.
Hey guys, can you listen to me?
Yeah.
I hope it was a fun race to watch.
It was amazing. I'll hand you over to our commentators.
Very much so, Lorenzo. Thank you. Firstly, thank you for all the organisation you put into it. It's been truly a pleasure to commentate over. So,
thanks you guys for the commentary. It was amazing to listen, like WEC level stuff, if not better. Amazing chemistry between you guys at the booth, and it was just a pleasure to rewatch every race. After a good shower, because tonight I'll need at least 2 showers, I think. That was a difficult race, but I hope you guys had fun all the season through, and I hope that we'll get a second season.
Absolutely, would love that. Fantastic.
Great.
Kieran, do you want to go next?
Do you guys have questions?
Yes, sorry, Lorenzo. I've just absolutely just pressed the mute button on my microphone. In all the excitement, you inflated my ego there by saying it was WEC level, if not better. So thank you for that.
Yeah, definitely.
I just wanted to start by saying just a big thank you for organising this championship. It's been amazing to commentate over, amazing to watch. My question is, what do you propose we do now that your championship is finished? Because all I want for Christmas is a round 8 of the Retro Cup.
We'll see. Maybe we'll do a Christmas round evening special. But no, I think this championship went pretty good. I think it's showing a big evolution throughout the years. It started pretty low level, let's say, and year after year we're trying to improve the things and trying to get better every season. And I hope that the new season, 26 season, is going to be even better. So I think stay tuned, because a special race may appear during later in the winter or early spring. So stay tuned.
Yeah, so mine's not really wasn't really a question, just to follow up on that. I just wanted to thank you very much for all the hard work you've been putting in for this whole season, being receptive to change, modifying things, adding in the test races, and to everyone for taking part in that as well. And a big one is being on top of the balance of performance, making sure that all the cars have as good a performance as they can to battle with each other. It's been amazingly well done. It's been brilliant to watch. Thank you very much. And thank you for trusting us with these series as well.
Yeah, thanks, Sears. Yeah, the balance of performance was really tricky to get right, because obviously we had test races, but in the test races people kind of go sandbagging, and maybe someone is not there and then pops out in the race day and throws an insane lap time, and the BOP is screwed completely. So yeah, that was kind of difficult to get right, but I think we got close. We got close.
Fantastic. The trials and tribulations of being the boss, Lorenzo. Well, thank you ever so much, and here's to 2026.
Thanks, guys. See you in 26.
Thanks very much, Lorenzo, for everything, and we will absolutely see you again if you invite us along. Lorenzo there from the Race Green team, who promoted this series this year. He's been absolutely excellent. All right, we are going to call that a wrap, but all that's left to say is thank you everyone for watching. Thanks to the drivers, of course, and to our respective champions this season. And yeah, to my wonderful co-commentators, and to Chris McElroy in the background, who has been instrumental this season. Quite long tracks, a lot of stuff to prepare in the background from him. So yeah, awesome all round. And yeah, a real team effort. So thank you very much, gents. And hopefully we get another one of these and we can see everyone again next time. A few housekeeping notes from us here at Sim Broadcast. Of course, you can keep up to date with our calendar, which is becoming quite small. We are only 2 rounds from the end of the year. We've got Roni's Tuesday Fun Race tomorrow at 7 o'clock UTC. That's for the season finale of Season 2 at Blackwood Historic Reversed with the XRG, which should be an absolute classic. And then on Saturday, the 20th of December, the final round of Master Race Car FBM Saturday at a track to be confirmed with the Formula BMW. You can find that all at simbroadcast.tv. And I think that just about ends it. Final thoughts from the commentators. Rob, you first of all.
So many thoughts. The quality of racing has been exquisite all year. I think the tracks have been such good fun to watch. We've seen so much action, and it's just nice to watch retro cars going around in anger. You can see the attitude of the cars, you can see the way that they're so hard to drive. It's just been a pleasure to watch, and I wouldn't have spent every other Monday for the last couple of months doing any other thing. Thank you ever so much.
Thank you, Rob. Pleasure to have you. Kieran?
Yeah, thanks everyone. It's been a real pleasure to commentate over this championship. It's actually, just on a personal note, my first full series commentating here for Live for Speed. So thank you to all the Sim Broadcast team and to my partners in crime, Adam and Rob. It's been a pleasure to spend my every other Monday with you guys. And yeah, hopefully we'll do it all again soon with another championship. But if not, certainly next year at Retro Cup 2026.
Yeah, I'll follow on from that. It's the same thing for me. My first series commentating, in fact, my first of anything commentating. It's been really nice to be given the opportunity to do that and to learn and understand Live for Speed, understand the community, and it's been amazing fun to watch. The racing has been top notch. It's been unreal.
Thank you all very much for your contributions, of course, this season, and thanks to everyone for watching again. We've been Sim Broadcast. We hope you had a fun time on tonight, what was quite an important evening for Live for Speed, it has to be said. We will leave you with the trailers for this championship, and then we'll play again that lovely lap in the new version. So from all of us here at Sim Broadcast, you have a good one. We'll see you all next time. Good night.